Chapter 591, Kaisernim, you've been chosen as Santa Claus. You have received 100 tower coins as a salary from Sejun Company. You have obtained 3 grilled power potatoes as lunch from Sejun Company. Initially, Sejun Company's system only handled salaries and meal distributions. However, Chairman Park Sejun Nim and Vice Chairman Park Theo Nim of Sejun Company captured a criminal, increasing Sejun Company's reputation. 100 temporary employees have joined Sejun Company. Bayon, the Red Fox of the Red Tower, has joined Sejun Company as a full-time employee. At some point, new systems were gradually added, such as one that informed all employees of the company's reputation or the recruitment of new employees. Sejun Company's influence has significantly increased. New infrastructure is being established in Sejun Company. A full-time employee communication network has been launched at Sejun Company. From now on, communication between full-time employees in the same tower is possible. A few days ago, a communication network allowing full-time employees in the same tower to talk to one another was launched. Black Tower 49F Boss Horned Mole Duku. Hello, can you hear me? Deputy Manager, Black Tower 98F Boss Black Eagle Redin. Yes, I can hear you. Black Tower 49F Boss Horned Mole Duku. Oh, Redinnim, hello. This is Duku, boss of the 49th floor of the tower. Deputy Manager Pinkfur. Redin, there are many people here ranked higher than you. Watch your tone. Deputy Manager, Black Tower 98F Boss Black Eagle Redin. Yes, I apologize. Black Tower 1FQ and Gang Black Bear 8. Hello, I am here to greet everyone as well. When the full-time employees who had previously been unaware of each other's existence began communicating, Black Tower 73F Boss Giant Flying Squirrel Quarrel, we're short-handed for harvesting Korean blackberries today. Could anyone lend a hand? Black Tower 83F Chestnut Hedgehog Goatery will help. Black Tower 73F Boss Giant Flying Squirrel Quarrel. Oh, thank you. Black Tower 77F Boss Banana Monkey Tribe Village Chief Ukil. Anyone willing to trade food for 10 bottles of banana wine? Black Tower 65F Long-Tailed Green Monkey Tribe Chief Nakmal. Me. I'll give you 500 avocados. Black Tower 77F Boss Banana Monkey Tribe Village Chief Ukil. Sounds good. Let's meet at floor 71 then. Black Tower 65F Long-Tailed Green Monkey Tribe Chief Nakmal. Okay, see you in 50 minutes. The full-time employees began solving problems by helping one another through the communication network. For reference, full-time employees of Sejun Company enjoyed a benefit that allowed them to use the light-speed merchant passage for free. Black Tower 4F St. Ludwig Schroon Argon Walter XVII. Do you all believe in abundance? At one point, S. Sybil XVIII tried to use Sejun Company's full-time employee communication network as a channel to spread the religion of abundance. Deputy Manager, Black Tower 85F Boss Silver Wolf Tribe Chief Elka blocks St. Ludwig Schroon Argon Walter XVII's access for 1 week. He was swiftly blocked by Elka. And then Black Tower 63F Boss Stone Lizard Manhita has joined Sejun Company. Black Tower 59F Green Goblin Paku. Rookie, if you've joined, greet your seniors. Black Tower 63F Boss Stone Lizard Manhita. How dare a mere 59th floor nobody tell me who to greet? Yesterday, there was brief chaos in the network when a disrespectful newcomer joined. However, Black Tower 73F Boss Giant Flying Squirrel Quarrel, recruiting participants for Rookie Etiquette Training Party. 1-5. Black Tower 59F Green Goblin Paku, count me in. 2-5. Black Tower 83F Chestnut Hedgehog Goatery, I'm in. 3-5. Black Tower 80F Orin Mountains Ruler Black Bear Rack, 2 joining. 5/5. Black Tower 80F Ace of the Tiger Tribe Enlightened Hanra, hee. The other one is me. Black Tower 63F Boss Stone Lizard Manhita, bring it on. Do you think I'll be scared? My dad's a lord. Black Tower 80F Ace of the Tiger Tribe Enlightened Hanra. Oh yeah, my grandpa is the chairman of the Mercenary Association. Black Tower 63F boss Stone Lizardman Hida, huh? The seniors from Sejun Company personally went to find Hida and forcefully taught him proper etiquette. Black Tower 63F boss Stone Lizardman Hida. Good morning, seniors. Thanks to this, Hida had now become a well-mannered junior. However, a problem arose on the previously well-maintained full-time employee communication network when information spread during Christmas. Black Tower 59F Green Goblin Paku. I'm certifying my good deeds. Black Tower 59F Green Goblin Paku uploads a magic video. To prove his good deeds, Paku uploaded a video of himself treating an injured monster. Black Tower 83F Chestnut Hedgehog Goatery. Paku, how do you do that? Black Tower 59F Green Goblin Paku. Oh, if you look closely below the message, there's a translucent button. Just press that. Black Tower 83F Chestnut Hedgehog Goatery. Got it. I'll try it right away. Black Tower 99F Mushroom Ant 7281. Thanks, I'll try it too. Thanks to Paku, the employees learned they could upload magic videos, and they began eagerly posting them one after another. Black Tower 80F Ace of the Tiger Tribe Enlightened Hanra. Hee hee. I'm also certifying my good deeds. Black Tower 80F Ace of the Tiger Tribe Enlightened Hanra uploads a magic video. Black Tower 83F Chestnut Hedgehog Goatery. Eventually, thousands of magic videos certifying good deeds were uploaded. The load on the full-time employee communication network is too heavy. The full-time employee communication network will be temporarily suspended. The communication network crashed within a day. And then manager, Black Tower 99F boss Minotaur King. Because of you all, the other managers are angry. Anyone who uploads magic videos from now on, I'll personally visit you. After the Minotaur King's warning, no employees dared to upload magic videos again. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I'll go earn lots of money, meow. Kyungi is going to work too. After finishing breakfast, Theo and Kyungi left for work. All right, I should get moving too. Sejun hurriedly prepared for work. Since they were planning to go down the tower tomorrow for Theo and Kyungi's job quests, he was pressed for time to check the farm in front of the house and visit the 10th tower and Earthworm today. For reference, Ace had just been summoned by Aileen to the Dragon Market due to a sudden influx of customers. Puahihi, brother-in-law Santa Claus is watching me help my Nuna right. Before leaving, Ace sought confirmation from Sejun once again. Of course, Santa Claus is watching you right now. Well, since Kaisernim is watching this way, it's not a lie. Puahihi, this is exciting. Brother-in-law, I'll be off then. Hearing Sejun's response, Ace went off happily to work. And then, Santa Kaiser, that sounds pretty cool. Kaisernim, you've been chosen as Santa Claus. Sejun decided to assign the role of Santa to Kaiser simply because it sounded nice. Shortly after, as Sejun went around the farm planting seed and harvesting crops, summon the gate. Clunk. After eating a strength-boosting yellow bean, Sejun crossed over to the 10th tower. Now that his strength had increased, he no longer needed the Transcendence Black Bean to boost his power. The yellow bean alone, which raised his strength by 400% for 1 minute, was enough to reach 100,000 strength. As Sejun entered the 10th tower, Kiki, Kaya, the Destruction Devourers and Destruction Pioneers welcomed him. Kilahit Kaying. He guys follow the boss. While Blackie played with his subordinates, you're afield. LV-9 has been activated. A seed of a Destruction Pioneer has been planted in the body of Melpheus, the demon of ruin and fourth seat of the Apostles of Destruction. Sejun planted seeds of the Destruction Pioneers and went through every floor, collecting seeds left behind by the Destruction Devourers. The seeds of the Destruction Devourers were intended to be planted in Earthworm, spreading the energy of creation across the surrounding area. This was necessary because the so-called Tears of Destruction, which had recently appeared with the opening of the Black Moon, were rapidly depleting the energy of creation around Jormungandr's body. According to the dragons, only the energy of creation could extinguish the Tears of Destruction. Thus, Sejun planned to focus on planting destruction, devourer seeds in earthworm for the time being. Blackie, let's go now. After gathering all the seeds, Sejun descended to the first floor and called for Blackie. Kaying. Guys, boss will come again next time. Kiki. Kaya. With the farewell of his underlings, Blackie climbed into Sejun's sling bag. Hamer Nim, give me an enhancing elixir, please. Lastly, Sejun obtained a drop of enhancing elixir made by Hamer and Stella, and returned to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. He then moved to the dimensional gate created by Peacebees. How long do you think this will last? Sejun gazed at the dimensional gate with curiosity. It had been a week since the dimensional gate connecting Earthworm, and the 99th floor of the Black Tower had been created. Even Peacebees admitted he had never maintained a dimensional gate for this long, and was unsure when it might close. Well, Kaisernim enhanced the bracelet's ability so I can return home even from outside the tower, so I'm not too worried. After Sejun's return from Earthworm, Kaiser had strengthened the Dragon Horn's return bracelet, enabling Sejun to teleport back home even from outside the tower. Of course, the bracelet's enhancement was only possible because Sejun had grown stronger. Swoosh! As Sejun stepped through the dimensional gate leading to Earthworm. Heb. Welcome, Sejun Nim, good morning. Kiki. The world tree Iasipo, who was diligently absorbing the energy of destruction along with the other destruction devourers, greeted Sejun. Yeah, good morning. Sejun exchanged greetings with them and then drop. He dropped a single drop of enhancing elixir onto a destruction devourer seed. The purpose was to strengthen the destruction devourers and increase their production of the energy of creation. Swish! The seed quickly absorbed the enhancing elixir, and a notification appeared. The efficiency of processing the energy of destruction has increased, allowing for more energy of creation to be generated with less energy of destruction. Oh, success! Seeing the newly added option on the destruction devourer seed, Sejun smiled brightly. At that moment, the energy of creation in the surroundings has evolved the existing destruction devourers, +1 into destruction devourers, +2. Along with the message, the surrounding blue energy was absorbed into the bodies of the destruction devourers, causing a group evolution. Oh, I suddenly feel overflowing with strength. Even the world tree Iasipo was affected. As a result, a large amount of energy of creation was consumed at once, causing the field of energy of creation around Jormungandr's body to shrink temporarily. Heb. But as the newly enhanced Iasipo and the destruction devourers, +2, absorbed and processed the energy of destruction. Burp. An even greater amount of energy of creation was released, not only recovering the field, but expanding it by roughly 30% more than before. You have planted a destruction devourer, +2 seed. While Sejun was planting the enhanced destruction devourer seeds and safeguarding the peace of the world. Tab. Pew Hut. From now on, you are permanent full-time employees of Sejun Company, meow. Through the bag of the legendary merchant wandering the 9 towers, Theo, who was doing business on the 50th floor of the Silver Tower, stamped on those who had picked a fight with him. Pew Hut. Although they were originally temporary employees, I made them full-time for the sake of good deeds, meow. Since he had to catch Santa for Christmas soon, Theo was generously offering kindness. But offering kindness twice could lead to big trouble. Pew Hut. Then let's resume the auction, meow. As Theo, who had done his good deed, resumed his business. He's a golden devil. I feel like I have to buy something. I'm scared. The merchants watching Theo trembled in fear. Chapter 592. Is that Santa guy really that strong? Black Tower, 99th floor. Finally, it's time to get off work. As Sejun exited the dimensional gate, having planted all the destruction devourer seeds in Earthworm, he shouted loudly. Pew Hugh Hut, Great Hybrid Chairman Park, I'm off work too, meow. Slap. Through his bag, Theo returned to the 99th floor of the tower, plastered himself onto Sejun's face, and enthusiastically rubbed his face against Sejun's head. And then, Pew Hugh Hut, Chairman Park, listen, meow. I did a lot of good deeds today, meow. Theo confessed his crimes to Sejun. Heh, well done. Of course, since they were two of a kind, Sejun praised Theo. After all, Theo's mischievous nature hadn't developed without reason. A little later. Kyung. Dad, Kyungi is here. Having finished planting all the medicinal herb seeds Sejun had given him, Kyungi returned from the herb field to find Sejun. Kyung. Have Dad here, eat this. Kyungi, the filial son, handed Sejun 5 blue kudzu root of potential and 1 dark blue kudzu roots of potential. My little Kyungi, you did great. Pad. When Sejun patted Kyungi's butt. Kaying. Hey butler, what about me? Having played all day with his underlings, Blackie barked fiercely at Sejun for not praising him. He was full of energy after his nap. Even so, he was just a super sunfish like Blackie, so he was adorable. Okay. Sejun also patted Blackie's butt and then moved toward the cooking area to prepare dinner, and all right, let's eat. He dined together with his companions. A little later, after finishing dinner, I should go to bed early today. Sejun yawned and headed to the bedroom. Pew Hut, let's sleep early, meow. Kyung. Kyungi is going to sleep with Mom. Dad, sleep well. Kilahit Kaying. Hee butler, going to bed early today. The rest of the group also prepared for bed. Gorarung. Kirorung. Iamrarung. As Theo and the Blackie family fell asleep. Kua. They're asleep. Sejun, who had been pretending to sleep, carefully got up. And then, swoosh, when he tried to set Theo down from his lap. Chairman Park, what's this, meow? Why are you putting me down from your lap, meow? Theo, who noticed right away that Sejun was trying to sneak off alone, opened his eyes. What should I do? Sejun, who had been planning to slip away from his companions and secretly discuss a Christmas party with Kaiser, was now caught. Vice Chairman Theo, do you want a present? After thinking for a moment, Sejun asked Theo. Of course, Chairman Park's lap is my gift, meow. A response without a shred of hesitation. All right, fine. Just like that, Theo ended up on the giving side rather than the receiving side, and now it seemed impossible for him to steal Santa's sack of gifts. Where's Peacebees? Chairman Park, on your left shoulder, meow. Really? Hearing Theo's answer, Sejun reached toward his left shoulder. There he is. He found Peacebees, placed him on the bed, and said, Let's go. Pew Hut, let's go, meow. Sejun, along with Theo, quietly slipped out of the bedroom and moved toward the fountain. When they arrived at the fountain, Sejun, perfect timing, is that Santa guy really that strong? Kaiser asked Sejun in an angry tone. Yes, he's strong. Because you're Santa yourself, Kaiser Nim. What, a thief who just sneaks in to leave presents is strong, stronger than me. Kaiser, unaware that he himself was Santa, became fired up with competitive spirit. It seemed that Grandpa Santa's pride had been deeply wounded by his grandson's words that Santa could sneak in and leave presents unnoticed. No, there's no way Santa could be stronger than you, Kaiser Nim. You're Santa Claus after all. What? Kaiser was briefly taken aback by Sejun's words, but soon laughed heartily. Kahahaha, that's right. There's no way anyone could be stronger than me, Kaiser Pratani, the great leader of the Black Dragons. Yes, a strong dragon like me should be Santa. With that, Kaiser agreed to be Santa, without Sejun needing to convince him further. And then, Sejun, by the way, what does Santa actually do? He belatedly asked about Santa's role. Santa is someone who, as Sejun explained Christmas to Kaiser, he also shared his plan to host a small Christmas party, inviting his farm family, the rabbit family, and other acquaintances to give them gifts. The part about inviting acquaintances had already rendered the plan for a modest party impossible, but Sejun hadn't realized that yet. A little later, when Sejun finished explaining, Sejun, then does that mean I won't be getting a gift? Kaiser asked in a voice full of disappointment. Sejun wanted to retort by asking how old Kaiser was, but then thought to himself, just because someone's old doesn't mean they can't get gifts, and being Santa doesn't mean you can't receive gifts either. I'll give you 5 bottles of cherry wine as a gift. Having decided to play the role of Santa's Santa, Sejun chose to gift Kaiser with cherry wine, something he liked. Sejun, our gifts too. The other dragons who had been silently listening chimed in. However, in exchange, Kellyan, Ramter, and Tyr agreed to take on part-time jobs as Santas. Kahaha, excellent, we must spread Christmas far and wide from now on. That's right, even in the White Tower we need Christmas. Let's let the other dragons know too. With their spirits lifted, the dragons began thinking of spreading Christmas to other dragons and across all the towers. But then, that won't work. Sejun stepped in and stopped the dragons. He couldn't afford to give gifts to all 9 dragon clans and all 9 towers. He didn't want to raise expectations only to disappoint people later. The feeling of waking up to find no gifts. That's too depressing. Sejun recalled a memory from when he was 5 years old. Sejun's father, Park Chun-ho, had gone to bed early in the evening so he could wake up at dawn to leave presents at the heads of his sleeping sons. But, Kuaha, what time is it? Exhausted from several days of overtime, he had fallen into a deep sleep and didn't wake up until morning. Wah, I even cleaned my room yesterday. Why are there no presents? No pewescent. 5-year-old Sejun and 4-year-old Sedal had woken up earlier than usual, only to discover there were no Santa presents. They burst into tears, unable to accept the cruel reality. Later, Park Chun-ho, under Kim Mi-ran's icy glare, had no choice but to retrieve the presents he had hidden in the shoe cabinet and belatedly give them to his sons. But Dad was Santa. There's no such thing as Santa. Bewother, Santa Gwanpa doesn't exist. This revelation only left a deeper shock for the kids. That's how, at the age of 5, I faced the cold reality that Santa didn't exist, and I grew up. Sejun didn't want to inflict the same shock he had experienced on the children of the tower. On top of that, logistically, it's impossible to give everyone a gift in just one night. There was also the realistic issue of time constraints. Thus, Sejun managed to stop Christmas from spreading across all 9 towers. Well, I'm going to bed now. Sejun, you know we'll be holding a dragon meeting soon at the White Tower, right? Of course, I've already decided on the menu. Sejun reassured Kellyan, who was concerned about the dragon meeting scheduled for 16 days later, and went to bed, completely unaware that the news of Christmas had already spread throughout the Black Tower via the full-time employees. Kua, Gorarong, Kirorong. While Sejun was happily snoring away in the bedroom with Theo and the Blackie family. Christmas, you get presents for doing good deeds. As expected of our Sejun, he comes up with admirable ideas. How can I, as creator God, miss out on such a wonderful event? There was yet another being eager to expand this Christmas event. Right on time, too. A massive storm of causality is set to arrive with Christmas. The grand magic stream seed, which was on the verge of full growth after absorbing Flamey's magic power. The emergence of a grand magic stream, something that had never existed before, was bound to send shockwaves across the world. This was because there were currently only 8 existing magic stream branches. Originally, there had been 9, but one branch had disappeared after Flamey defeated Halfas. However, a grand magic stream was a fearsome magical stream, equivalent in power to 50 regular magic stream branches combined. Its birth would naturally trigger a major shift in the world's causality. Since Sejun had played a significant role in the creation of the grand magic stream, he stood at the very center of this massive storm of causality. His plan had been to gently twist the storm in a way that minimized any harm to him, but now everyone was united in doing good deeds and creating a collective spirit to give and receive presents, forming a massive unified will. If Sejun could combine that collective will with the massive storm of causality and steer it in the direction he wanted, Sejun will finally understand that I didn't run away but acted with purpose. The Creator God smiled, pleased at the thought of showing Sejun the greatness of his divine power. The next morning, everyone, are you all ready? Puhyuhut, of course, meow. Kyung, Kaying. Sejun and his companions prepared to descend the tower once again. Unfortunately, this time, Piat, Urin, and Poyo couldn't join them. Urin, it's time for you to gain a new ability. This was because a new oracle from misfortune, the god of misfortune, had been delivered, while the king of misfortune, Urin, had to stay behind. Meow Puhyuhut, Chairman Park, I just picked up 5 million tower coins, meow. Theo, thanks to his luck, managed to bring some results during their journey. Should we take a stroll through the herb market today? When they arrived on the 75th floor of the tower, Sejun decided to visit the herb market. At that moment, Seed Shop is now open. Park Sejunim's rank is Transcendence. 7 types of seeds, including Transcendence grade seeds, are randomly displayed for today's sale. At your current rank, you can purchase as many seeds as you want within a 500 tower coins limit. The 17th seed shop had opened. Oh right, today was the day the seed shop opens. Sejun had completely forgotten about it. Seed of Chaos, Transcendence grade. 500 tower coins plus 10,000 pieces of the world's energy. Seed of Darkness, Transcendence grade. 350 tower coins plus 1,000 pieces of the world's energy. 100 turmeric seeds, 100 tower coins. 100 peppermint seeds, 50 tower coins. 100 wild chive seeds, 10 tower coins. The seed sales window appeared before Sejun. I should make curry. The moment Sejun saw turmeric, curry popped into his mind. If I buy the chaos seed, I can't buy turmeric, so I'll pass on the seed of chaos then. The seed of chaos created by chaos, the god of chaos, lost out simply because Sejun wanted curry. I'll buy the seed of darkness, turmeric seeds and peppermint seeds. When Sejun completed his purchase, you have spent 500 tower coins and 1,000 pieces of the world's energy to buy the seed of darkness, turmeric seeds and peppermint seeds. A message appeared. Then a surprise item has been added. You can now purchase Seed Shop 50% discount coupons, 1,000 for a limited time. Would you like to buy them? Suddenly, a 50% discount coupon was added as a special deal. Of course I have to buy them. What a steal. Smiling, Sejun purchased the 50% discount coupons. After the transaction ended, thank you for using the Seed Shop. You will be able to use Seed Shop LV4 again in 30 days. The Seed Shop closed and clatter. 3 small leather pouches containing the seeds appeared in Sejun's hand. Let's take a look, Kyungi, how about this? Sejun took out the turmeric and peppermint seeds and placed them in Kyungi's front paw. Since turmeric and peppermint could also be used as medicinal herbs, they might help with Kyungi's job quest. And then, Kyung. Dad, both are perfect. Thankfully, both seeds satisfied Kyungi's job quest requirements. Kyungi, congratulations. Although Kyungi would have to go plant the seeds to fully complete the job quest, Sejun congratulated him in advance. All that's left is to complete Vice Chairman Theo's job quest. Puhyuhut, let's finish it quickly, meow. Sejun and Theo burned with determination. However, I still have 37 trillion tower coins left to collect, meow. In a week, they had only managed to earn around 7 trillion tower coins, which Theo considered pocket change. Although 7 trillion tower coins was an astronomical amount, it was a mere drop in the ocean compared to the remaining quota, so it felt like nothing. On top of that, they also needed to return to prepare for the fourth dragon meeting, which was to be held in the White Tower. As a result, the day ended without finishing Theo's job quest. Pio, Sejun Nim Theonim, we're back. Moha, Sejun Nim, can I lick you just once? Piat and Poyo had returned. Uehe, I'm back too. They had come back together with Urin, who had acquired a new skill and become a specialist in agro-management. Chapter 593, Pewhue Hut. Chairman Park, I'm now a evil legendary merchant, meow. Lick. Moha sweet. When Poyo licked Sejun's hand lightly, savoring Sejun's misfortune. Grrr. Get away from my butler. Blackie growled as ferociously as he could at Poyo. Sejun was already unable to find opportunities to surpass his limits due to Theo and the people around him. If even his misfortune disappeared, Sejun's growth would be further delayed. At the end of all growth there's a wall. To cross that wall, trials must follow, and the stronger the trials, the greater the growth when the wall is surpassed. Additionally, moderate misfortune can be helpful at times, as it makes the trials more intense. Of course, overwhelming misfortune beyond one's capacity could become poison instead. However, the misfortune Sejun possessed was not yet at such a level. Naturally, this didn't apply to Urin, who hadn't grown enough to encounter a wall yet. Yes. When Poyo, unable to consume Sejun's misfortune due to Blackie's furious outburst, looked sullen. Uhehe, Theonim, you trust on me from now on, delectable misfortune. Urin shouted boldly and used his newly acquired skill. Whoosh! A crimson energy spread out from Urin. Delectable misfortune. Sejun watched the situation with curiosity. A moment later, the sound of many footsteps began to echo. That's the guy, catch that pink pig. Don't interfere, that pig belongs to Lady Nina of the Chain Scythe. No, that delicious pig is ours. Hundreds of criminals, drawn to Urin's delicious misfortune, began to swarm in. What is this? Indeed, the skill Urin had acquired was a large-scale provocation skill, divine skill, delectable misfortune. A divine skill imbued with the power of misfortune, the god of misfortune. It spreads the scent of one's delicious misfortune across a 10 km radius, attracting those who bring misfortune to others. Each use of the skill consumes 10% of the misfortune the user possesses. It was a divine skill that only followers of the god could learn. Pewhue Hut, Urin, you did well, meow. Thwack thwack. As criminals drawn by Urin's large-scale provocation collapsed one by one, Theo gleefully stamped them out. Pewhue Hut, these guys have a lot of money, meow. In less than 30 minutes, they managed to earn 5 trillion tower coins. Truly, the synergy between Theo and Urin was incredible. Moha, it's delicious. Poyo was also thoroughly satisfied. For now, let's take them to Jira's and collect the bounties. Sejun and his party tied up the criminals, stored them in the void storage, and headed to Jira's to collect a bounty of 1 trillion tower coins. Then, Jira's, where are the areas where criminals frequently appear? Sejun asked about the locations of crime-prone areas. Areas where criminals frequently appear, for now to the north of the shop street. After learning the crime hotspots from Jira's, they went to those locations. Uhehe, delectable misfortune. Urin used his large-scale provocation once again. Thanks to this, Theo was able to capture and subdue more criminals while making a huge profit, significantly improving the safety of the crime-prone areas. Thus a day passed, and by lunchtime the next day. This time the bounty is 3.5 trillion tower coins. Pewhue Hut, thanks to great hybrid Chairman Park, I've completed my job quest, meow. While receiving the bounty from Jiras, Theo successfully completed his job quest. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I'm now a evil legendary merchant, meow. Theo proudly boasted about his new job title to Sejun. For reference, after completing his job quest, Kyungi was promoted to senior herbalist. Evil, that's an insult though. Meow, that was an insult. Helnum, come out, meow. Why am I a evil legendary merchant, meow? Change it right now, meow. If you don't, I'll impeach you, meow. At Sejun's words, Theo became utterly furious and began directly confronting Hell. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, instead of evil legendary merchant, what should I change it to, meow? Obtaining the right to change his job title freely, Theo asked for Sejun's opinion. How about lucky legendary merchant? Heh, after all, Theo is a lucky cat. Pew Hut, I like it, meow. Helnum, change my title to lucky legendary merchant, meow. Thus, Theo's job title was changed to lucky legendary merchant. The effect of talent, Namer, has been activated. The name lucky legendary merchant has been imbued with a special effect. A job trait is added. All stats increase by 777 every time you level up. A job trait is added. A 7% refund of the purchase amount is granted every time you buy something. Good things happened right away. Pew Hut, as expected, great hybrid Chairman Park is amazing, meow. As soon as something good happened, Theo immediately praised Sejun. Oh, I want to change mine to Lucky Tower Farmer too. Sejun, seeing Theo's success, attempted to change his job title as well, but your job Tower Farmer has not grown enough to change its title yet. You need to reach a higher stage to rename it. He was told to grow more and come back later. I'm not envious, not at all. Sejun, trying his best not to show any jealousy, patted Theo on the head. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, does your stomach hurt, meow? Well. This clever cat noticed right away. Chairman Park, holding it in is bad for your health, meow. Let's go to the bathroom quickly, meow. Of course, his guess was way off. With Theo's job quest completed. Let's go home now. Sejun returned to the 99th floor of the tower to prepare dishes for the 4th dragon meeting that was to be held at the White Tower. There was a lot to prepare, including the dragon meeting and the Christmas party. Everyone, let's get to work. Kwek. With the help of tens of thousands of mushroom ants that had multiplied. Wying. Sejunim, we will help you. Wying. The poisonous queen bee, Sweetie, and her swarm of poisonous bees assisted with transporting and preparing ingredients. Moreover, at midnight, the blue moon, which Sejun was seeing for the 20th time in the tower, appeared. Peep-eek. Peep-ayak. The moon rabbits Walgang, Walha, and Huk Walbach arrived via blue moon jump. Oh, you guys are here. Since the three had worked together with Sejun cooking for a long time, so they had to help Sejun prepare the food. For this dragon meeting, he planned to use the newly obtained ingredients, cinnamon and avocado, to make sujiangwa, cinnamon punch, cinnamon rolls, guacamole, avocado juice, and more. As for the cake, he planned to bake a giant hot cake, Ajax's favorite, and make a 100-layer giant whipped cream hotcake tower. Fortunately, Sejun too had worked hard in Sejun's absence to brew enough attribute wine, so there wasn't any shortage. Thanks to the many helping hands, Sejun found some breathing room. At night, he planned the Christmas party with Theo and the dragons of the 4 Dragon Council, while during the day he prepared dishes for the dragon meeting. As he spent his days busily, the day of the dragon meeting finally arrived. Kellyanam, here's the food. Ha, Sejun, thank you, you've worked hard. Receiving the dishes prepared by Sejun, Kellyan was delighted. The dishes with cinnamon had a unique sweet aroma that was hard to resist, while the avocado dishes impressed with their creamy texture and nutty flavor. This can hold its own even compared to the dragon meeting held at the Black Tower a month ago. Feeling proud, Kellyan smiled inwardly as he made the final preparations for the dragon meeting. The other dragons of the 4 Dragon Council also moved to the White Tower to attend the meeting. Phew, it's done. Letting out a sigh of relief after completing a major task, Sejun relaxed a bit. But then, all right, time to start preparing for the Christmas party. There was no time to rest. There were only 2 weeks left until Christmas. There was still so much to do. Sending out invitations for the party, decorating the Christmas tree, preparing party food, and arranging gifts for the attendees. Thankfully, with the help of the Kingdom of Kav, Messenger Bird Piat and other messenger birds were already delivering the party invitations. Naturally, Urin and Poyo followed Piat on his delivery rounds. Thanks to everyone's efforts, only 3 tasks remained: decorating the tree, preparing food, and arranging the gifts. However, the real challenge was, we can decorate the tree and prepare food together, but I need to prepare the gifts in secret. The gift preparations had to be done without anyone knowing. To do so, Sejun needed to distract Kyungi, Peacebees, and the Blackie family, but he couldn't come up with a good plan. What should I do? As Sejun was deep in thought from afar, the great blue dragons praise your food highly. Your soul is greatly fulfilled by the high praise of numerous beings of high rank. Mental strength increases by 500. Due to the praise of the great dragons who had eaten Sejun's food, his mental strength began to rise. Kaying, everyone, it's coming. Of course, the Blackie family, in tune with Sejun's condition, adjusted the incoming mental strength appropriately for him. Mental strength has reached its limit of 10,000. You have achieved 10,000 mental strength. Your weak willpower has begun to exert a small influence on the world. Sejun reached mental strength 10,000 and became a being that could have a small influence on the world. My will can influence the world a little. Rise, Sejun shouted while staring intently at a stone. Of course, the stone didn't budge an inch. Well, of course not. Sejun sighed, realizing his insignificance yet again, and moved to the place where he had planted pine trees. When Sejun arrived, he was greeted by a lush pine forest with hundreds of pine trees. Originally, he had started with just 5 pine tree seeds, but using the harvest elixir to rapidly grow the trees and harvest seeds, Sejun had managed to expand the forest significantly. Transplanting. Crack, you have uprooted a pine tree. Your proficiency in transplanting LV5 has increased slightly. Due to the effect of transplanting LV5, the roots have not been damaged. Due to the effect of transplanting LV5, the pine tree will remain in a stable condition for 5 hours. Sejun uprooted the pine trees and arranged them in a circle near his house. The remaining trees were planted along both sides of the path leading from the entrance of the 99th floor to the farm. Kyung. While Kyungi planted 30 trees, Sejun could only manage 1. Kyung. Hehe, it's fun because I'm doing it with Dad. Hehe, me too. The 2 of them were simply enjoying themselves. Once all the pine trees had been transplanted. All right, everyone, let's decorate the Christmas tree. Hang whatever you want on the tree. Sejun and his companions began decorating the Christmas tree. Pew hut. As Vice Chairman Theo, I will hang the fish bones I've eaten so far, meow. Kyung. Hehe, Kyungi will hang Garitiaks. Theo and Kyungi enthusiastically decorated the tree with their personal preferences. It'll look better if we add something shiny. Sejun added extra decorations to the tree Theo and Kyungi had decorated. Then, Kilahit Kaying. Hee Butler, Great Blackie will help you. Blackie, determined to do a good deed, followed closely behind Sejun. Chomp chomp chomp. Kilahit Kaying. Hee delicious. After eating 3 of the Garitiaks Kyungi had hung as decorations. Kaying. Great Blackie is full, going to sleep now. Blackie crawled into one of the socks Sejun had hung on the tree and fell asleep. A little while later. Pew hut, Chairman Park, it's all done, meow. Kyung. Hehe, Dad, Kyungi is done too. Theo and Kyungi, having finished decorating the tree, clung to Sejun's knees and sides. Just wait a moment, I'm almost done too. As Sejun was nearing the completion of his tree decorations. Kaiwat, 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 Sejun Nim, Theo Nim, I'm here. Yona arrived, carrying the magical lights Sejun had requested. The lights were made by embedding light magic-infused magic stone into colorful glass jars. Yona, can you evenly hang the lights on the trees? Kaiwat, 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 yes. Using her magic, Iona evenly distributed the lights across the trees. Light. When Iona activated the magic, colorful lights began to twinkle among the trees. And yet, something's missing. Why doesn't it feel like Christmas? As Sejun stared intently at the Christmas tree. Ah, carols. He realized there was no music. It was time for Peacebees, the singer king, to step up. Chapter 594, Christmas Miracle 1. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Late at night. SHH, everyone be quiet. After silencing his companions with a finger to his lips, Sejun gave a signal to Peacebees with his eyes. Peacebees start. Receiving Sejun's cue, Peacebees began. Pip pip, mic test 1 2. After testing the magic microphone, silent tower, holy tower, tower shrouded in darkness. Peacebees started singing a Christmas carol. And then, Sejun rolled up a piece of paper, carefully listened to Peacebees' song and said, Cut, Peacebees, don't cut the word tower abruptly. Drag it out like ta up right arrow ao a down right arrow ear up right arrow. Let's try again like that. Pip pip, yes. Sejun, directing as he pleased, was ruining the performance of Singer King Peacebees. Of course, there was no one who could go against the words of Sejun, the absolute authority and intellectual of this place. Kaiwat, 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 Sejun Nim, should we record it as is? Yes. Kaiwat, really? Yes. And so the recording proceeded. 5 hours later. Oh, the first one was the best. Pip pip, Sejun Nim, I'm disappointed in you. Kaiwo. Sejun, after making Peacebees and Iona record the same song hundreds of times, declared that the first version was the best, infuriating them. As a result, Sejun lost his director privileges and was kicked out. I might as well sleep. Pew hut sounds good, meow. Kaying. Butler, I'll play some more. Having slept enough in the sock earlier, Blackie wanted to keep playing, but Sejun dragged him along to go to sleep. And then, Keikirorong. Iamrarong. Keikurorong. The Blackie family fell asleep faster than Sejun. What's this? Didn't you say you wanted to play more? Looking at the Blackie family, Sejun chuckled. Cooler. Gororong. And fell asleep alongside Theo. Silent Tower, Holy Tower, the tower where Park Sejun lives. When we gather together to fight and bicker. Sejun quickly faints, Sejun quickly falls asleep. The night deepened, accompanied by Peacebees' modified carol. First floor of the Black Tower. Kyung-chul, keep this to yourself, if you do good deeds. Black Bear 12 of the Kyung gang explained Christmas to his human friend, Oh Kyung-chul. Ah, so you heard about Christmas from Sejun. Well, it makes sense since it's almost Christmas. But I'm still single. Kyung-chul, who planned to spend Christmas quietly in the tower, felt a pang of sadness. Even the tower was not free from the grasp of Christmas. That's right. Chairman Sejun Nim said that if you do good deeds, go to sleep on Christmas Eve and wake up in the morning, Santa Nim will give you presents. So I've already done 10 good deeds. Cuckoo cuck. Soon I'll get 10 presents. Kyung-chul, if you want to get a present from Santa Nim, hurry and do some good deeds. Unaware of Kyung-chul's feelings, Black Bear 12 excitedly talked about the presents he would receive. How innocent. Kyung-chul looked at Black Bear 12 fondly. Not just Black Bear 12, but all of Kyung gang Black Bears were pure-hearted despite their large size. Hey, but sometimes, breaking such innocence is the most fun. Phew, Black Bear 12, you don't know, Santa doesn't exist. Kyung-chul imparted the wisdom of adulthood to Black Bear 12. However, Black Bear 12's faith in Santa was unshakable. What did you say? Say it again. Are you claiming that Chairman Sejun Nim lied? Santa Nim exists, he does. Say that Santa Nim exists right now. I'm sorry, it was a joke. Santa Nim exists. Only after being grabbed by the collar and saying that Santa existed did Kyung-chul manage to escape the wrath of Black Bear 12. Kyung-chul, as your friend, I warn you, be careful. Santa Nim is watching everything. No, this won't do. Follow me right now. You must do good deeds and ask Santa Nim for forgiveness. No, only his collar was released. Excluding Sejun, Kyung-chul, Earth's strongest hunter, was dragged by Black Bear 12 to carry loads at Sejun Company's warehouse and earn good deed points. And then, what, Dongsik Nim? What, Kyung-chul, is that you too? Earthlings, who had tried to destroy the innocence of the tower's residents, kept being dragged into Sejun Company's warehouse. 4th floor of the Black Tower. Lee Nim, have you heard of something called Christmas? My child, what is that? Even Lee Nim does know. Sejun Nim mentioned something called Christmas. Through Sybil the 18th, the concept of Christmas was passed on to the seed shop headquarters. Quick, let's do good deeds so we can get gifts from Santa. But where do we go to do good deeds? Right, there's nowhere obvious to do good deeds. The non-combat gods were fretting over how to accomplish good deeds. At that moment, let's pray for Trustin Park. One non-combat god came up with an idea. Praying for the well-being of others was certainly a good deed. Oh, that's a great idea. Trustin Park, we pray for your peace. Trustin Park, may you always be happy and hopping to receive gifts on Christmas, the non-combat gods began praying for Sejun. 59th floor of the Black Tower. Listen, this is just between us. If you do good deeds before the upcoming Christmas, an extraordinary being called Santa Claus will leave gifts while you sleep. Green Goblin Paku whispered to a friend from another floor. He couldn't hold back the urge to share this delightful secret. Really? Yeah, Sejun Nim said it himself. Sejun Nim. Yes, our Sejun Company's chairman and the great black dragon, Park Sejun. Oh, then it must be true. I should hurry and do some good deeds too. The friend who heard this from Paku wandered off to look for good deeds to do and ran into another friend on a different floor. Hey, I heard this from my friend, but Ronan, keep this to yourself. Soon. The friend passed on what he had heard from Paku. Hey, keep this too. That friend then passed the story to another friend from another floor. This way, the story about Christmas began to spread wider and wider. Hey, keep this to yourself. If you do good deeds, Santa Nim leaves gifts while you sleep, right? How did you know? Before long, the idea of Christmas had spread so widely that there was no one in the Black Tower who didn't know about it. And they say you get better presents if you spend Christmas on the 99th floor. Really? Yeah, that's why I'm heading to the 99th floor right now. Let's go together. On top of that, the rumors were growing even more exaggerated. Earthworm, if you do good deeds and go to sleep, Sejun Nim said you'll receive gifts on Christmas morning. Toryong was spreading the news of Christmas to the Earth Dragons. Oh, really? The Earth Dragons cheered at Toryong's words. However, that's right. So, if anyone doesn't receive a gift on Christmas morning, be prepared. It means you're a bad one and I'll personally execute you. What? After hearing Toryong's follow-up, the Earth Dragons turned pale. If they didn't receive a gift on Christmas morning, they'd die. In a panic, the Earth Dragons scurried around Earthworm to do good deeds. Kaya. Kiki. They discovered a massive group of destruction devourers moving toward a place rich with the energy of destruction. And then, guys, I'll give you a ride. No, ride with me. The Earth Dragons gave the destruction devourers a lift to their destination, counting it as a good deed. Santa Nim, please give me a gift, otherwise I'm dead. Praying that Santa would leave gifts by their bedside. The territory of the Great White Dragon. Kahaha, listen, keep this to yourselves. I've become Santa. Huh, what's a Santa? At Kaiser's words, Brachio, the leader of the Green Dragons, asked curiously. You Fut, you don't know what Santa is. You must not be very close to Sejun. Daha, that's right. We agreed to be Santas at Sejun's request. He promised us alcohol as payment. No, but what exactly is Santa? Annoyed Kin, the leader of the Blue Dragons, asked again after hearing Kellyan and Tyr's explanation. Puhaha, only the mightiest dragon can become one. What, the mightiest dragon? And you left me out of something like that. I can't accept this. That's right. I want to be Santa and get some alcohol too. At Ramter's words, the other 5 leaders of the towers grew angry, ready to fly to the Black Tower immediately if it weren't for the ongoing dragon meeting. Thus, news of Christmas spread throughout the Black Tower, the seed shop headquarters, Earthworm, and even among the dragon leaders. The scale of the Christmas party was rapidly growing larger and larger. 4 days until Christmas. 10 days had passed, while Sejun prepared Christmas dishes during the day and Christmas presents at night. And then, why are there so many? Sejun realized something had gone wrong. The Christmas party invitations were only supposed to be sent to acquaintances. Ha, they say this is called a Christmas tree. It looks nice. Next year we should make a tree like this on our floor. So you just hang fish bones on the tree like this. Hundreds of thousands, no, millions of uninvited residents were flooding onto the 99th floor of the Black Tower. And it wasn't stopping there. Apparently, the general merchant routes leading to the 99th floor were already blocked from the 75th floor onward. There were various reasons why the residents wanted to reach the 99th floor, and one of them was, Chairman Sejun Nim, I want to date my neighbor Marlene. Please make it happen. All right, good luck. No, but why are you telling me that? It was because people wanted to share their wishes with Sejun. As rumors about Christmas grew more exaggerated, a story spread that if you told Sejun your wish in advance, you could receive it as a Christmas gift. Thanks to this, Sejun, who had planned to take a short break while preparing for the Christmas party, couldn't rest and had to listen to the residents' wishes. Hut, if you want to speak your wish to the great hybrid Chairman Park, pay 10 billion tower coins to lucky merchant, Vice Chairman Theo. Fortunately, Theo began collecting money from the residents in line, and the queue disappeared in an instant. Vice Chairman Theo, well done. Hut, I Vice Chairman Theo always do well, meow. Haha, that's right. Sejun patted Theo's belly in praise and then asked, What's your wish? To those who afford the 10 billion tower coin fee, Sejun began listening to their wishes. Sejun Nim, I want to get along with my younger sibling. All right, I'll talk to Ninir for you. Yay, thank you so much. Sejun Nim, I want to take a vacation. All right, Yona, let's give Blackster a week off. Kaiwat, that's too much. Then how about 5 days? Kaiwat. All right, Blackster, you'll get a 5-day vacation starting now. Sejun Nim, Ionanim, thank you. Thankfully, these were things Sejun could resolve without Santa. Once the wish-listening session was over. Now it's time to prepare the presents. Vice Chairman Theo, make sure no one comes in. Hut, got it, meow, just trust me, meow. Sejun assigned Theo to stand guard and went into the void storage to secretly prepare Christmas presents. With little time left until Christmas and the number of residents coming to the 99th floor continuing to grow, he had no choice but to prepare gifts even during the day. However, Kyung, Big Brother, what is Dad doing? Hut, Chairman Park is preparing Christmas presents, meow, so don't disturb him and go play somewhere else, meow. Kyung, got it. Everyone knew exactly what Sejun was doing. One day until Christmas. Late on Christmas Eve, the grand magic stream has been completed. A massive storm of causality occurs centered on Black Tower's Tower Farmer Park Sejun, who had the greatest influence on the birth of the grand magic stream. Ruambo. The grand magic stream which had absorbed Flamey's magic was finally complete. And then, all right, Sejun, let me show you how amazing the Creator God can be. Hupe. The Creator God created a miracle by combining everyone's wish for Christmas with the storm of causality. Chapter 595, Christmas Miracle 2. 99th floor of the Black Tower. In the quiet night when everyone was asleep. Still not enough. Sejun sighed in regret as he looked at the countless neatly arranged tents. Despite his diligent preparation of gifts, the number of presents was far too insufficient compared to the population. While Sejun was preparing gifts, residents kept arriving at the 99th floor of the tower, and he had gathered every useful item he could find to use as gifts. However, it still wasn't enough. Moreover, according to other residents, news of Christmas had spread throughout the entire Black Tower. I didn't anticipate that the story of Christmas from Earth would spread. Sejun assumed that the residents of the tower had naturally learned about Christmas from Earth hunters, as he was worrying about the lack of gifts. Sejun, don't worry, we've prepared a few gifts ourselves. That's right, from our warehouse we brought. Treasured items we had stored carefully in the warehouse. The 9 dragon statues, wearing red Santa hats and white beards, approached Sejun speaking loudly. The dragons had cast a strong sleep magic to ensure the residents wouldn't wake up from the commotion, so there was no concern about disturbing them. The 9 dragon statues approaching Sejun were, of course, the leaders of the 9 dragons. 5 days before Christmas, as soon as the meeting of the dragon leaders ended, they headed straight to the Black Tower. Excluding the 4 Dragons Council, 5 of the leaders had insisted to Sejun that the most powerful beings like themselves should take on the role of Santa. Of course, in return, they received 5 bottles of attribute liquor each. After getting 9 Santas, please wear this. Sejun handed Santa outfits to the dragons. Even though the outfits weren't necessary, as the presents would be transported via teleportation. It wouldn't feel like Christmas without them. For Sejun, a Santa without a red hat and white beard was unacceptable. Following Sejun's instructions, K-Kuruk. Jigomi worked hard to create Santa hats and white beards out of spider silk. Soon, 9 sets of Santa outfits were in Sejun's hands. Sejun, wearing such a thing would harm the dignity of the great dragons. Yes, this doesn't seem appropriate. Initially, the dragons refused to wear the Santa outfits, saying it would diminish their dignity. Puahiti, Grandpa, that outfit is cool. Kuahata, really? Grandpa, where did you get that outfit? It suits you so well. Kuahaha, does it suit me? Then I'll try it on. Sejun enlisted the help of Ace and Aileen to persuade Kaiser to wear the Santa outfit. That I'm wearing it, you all have to wear it too. If you don't, get out of my tower. In the end, the other dragons had no choice but to wear the Santa outfits due to Kaiser's coercion. Even though the leaders of the 9 dragons contributed additional gifts, there still weren't enough to give to all the tower residents. All right, let's make sure to give them to all the residents who made it to the 99th floor first, and if there are any left, we'll send them to the other floors. Our letter 1D63 Signet Omicron, letter 1D51F. Let's begin, please. Got it. I'll handle this side. Then I'll take care of this area. At Sejun's words, the dragon leaders divided the areas for gift delivery and began calculating the coordinates near the residents' beds for their teleportation magic. Even for the great dragons, it was impossible to simultaneously calculate the coordinates and teleport for tens of thousands of residents, so they processed them in batches of 10,000 at a time. A short while later, mass teleport. As the dragons finished their calculations, they began using magic to move gifts to the sleeping residents' bedsides. Despite the complexity of the spell, not a single one of the great dragons failed. As the dragons were busy delivering gifts. For our black rabbit's gift. Naturally, it'll be something good for his lower body. Sejun also began placing the gifts he had prepared by his family members' bedsides. For Kyungi, honey. For Peacebees, a magic microphone necklace. For Toryong, a giant brick made of the highest grade soil. For the Blackie family, roasted and dried sweet potatoes. For Pink Fur, locust and slime jerky. For the Minotaur King, pellets compressed from grass, beans, and mugwort. For Sweetie, a mix of various tree pollen and honey. Flamey's gift was set aside to be given later when they met. All right, now only Aileen's gift remains. Kaiser had planned to prepare separate gifts for Ace and Aileen, but Sejun also had a special Christmas gift ready for Aileen. Having distributed gifts to all his family members, Sejun finally completed his task. At that moment, meow, no meow, Supergiant Chairman Park, where are you going, meow? Theo suddenly shouted in panic. Flash. At the same time, a bright light exploded from Theo's body, and a massive sphere of light shot up into the sky. What's that? Sejun, too, looked up at the sky in shock. That's me. Because the ball of light that rose to the sky transformed into Sejun wearing a Santa costume. The Creator God had directed the storm of causality surrounding Sejun toward the supergiant Chairman Park, who had been nurtured with great reverence by Theo. Under the power of causality, the supergiant Chairman Park became Santa Sejun. Pew hut, Chairman Park, look at that face, meow. That's the uncorrupted face of Chairman Park I've always wanted, meow. With the most ideal handsome face that Theo could imagine. Flap. Since it was a hybrid form, if you looked closely, Santa Sejun had small black dragon wings subtly flapping on his back. And then Black Tower's Tower Farmer Park Sejun's clone has become Santa Sejun, the god of Christmas. You have achieved the great creation feat of having a transcendent grade clone. The clone is beyond the capabilities of Tower Farmer Park Sejun to control. The rewards for achieving the great creation feat have been significantly reduced. As a reward for achieving the great creation feat, the divinity of Tower Farmer Park Sejun has increased by 10. The clone of Tower Farmer Park Sejun, Santa Sejun, the god of Christmas, will act independently until the main body grows further. A message appeared before Sejun. My replica is a god, but I'm just a small fry. Looking at Santa Sejun, who had become the god of Christmas, Sejun felt a sense of absurdity. At that moment, snap! Santa Sejun snapped his fingers, and a sleigh overflowing with gift sacks appeared, pulled by Rudolph. Ho ho ho, main body Park Sejun. This blessing is a gift for your good deeds. Have a Merry Christmas. Clap. When Santa Sejun spoke to Sejun and clapped his hand, Santa Sejun, the god of Christmas, has bestowed the blessing of Christmas upon the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Under the blessing of Christmas, snow will fall from the sky and peace will prevail during Christmas. Under the blessing of Christmas, even high-ranking beings will be able to enjoy Christmas on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. As snowflakes began to fall gently from the sky, the blessing spread throughout the 99th floor. And then, snap! Santa Sejun snapped his fingers again, creating a dimensional portal. Well then, I'll be off, he-ya. Waving his hand, Santa Sejun rode the sleigh pulled by Rudolph and disappeared into the portal. He was off to deliver gifts to all the good beings in the world. Wow, what the? It's me but not me. Seeing Santa Sejun, a transcendent-level god, Sejun suddenly felt insignificant. But then, Pew hut. As expected, Great Hybrid Chairman Park is truly amazing, meow. He created the supergiant Chairman Park clone into transcendent grade Santa Sejun, the god of Christmas, meow. That's right, that's my clone and I'm the main body. There's no reason for me to feel inferior to my own clone. He quickly recovered his self-esteem while receiving Theo's admiration. And then, Pew hut, I'll have to nurture another clone of Chairman Park, meow. Theo, hugging Sejun's knees, began nurturing a new clone of Sejun in his mental world. By the way, Does the blessing allowing high-ranking beings to enjoy Christmas on the 99th floor mean that Aileen can come here too? Pew Hut, that's correct, meow. Aileen Nuna can come, Kaisernim can come, everyone can come, meow. Vice Chairman Theo, then is physical contact allowed too? Pew Hut, it's possible, meow. As Theo gave a straightforward answer to Sejun's question. Kuahaha, tonight I can finally clink glasses directly with Sejun. Uahaha indeed. Thud thud. Kaiser and the other leaders began appearing one by one in their gigantic true forms. Everyone polymorph quickly, our Sejun might get hurt. Oh, that's right, we can't let our Sejun get hurt. Hey, hurry up and polymorph. Naturally, due to Aileen's arrival right after them, the leaders quickly transformed using polymorph. In their human forms, 7 middle-aged men with dashing appearances and 2 beautiful women emerged. Thanks to Santa Sejun's blessing, Sejun was finally able to meet the leaders in person. Kaisernim, please accept my bow. Sejun first bowed formally to Kaiser, Aileen's grandfather. Since there was only one individual with black hair, there was no risk of confusing who Kaiser was. Kuahaha, indeed, Sejun, it's good to see you. To think the day would come when we could meet directly like this. Kaiser approached Sejun, who had just finished bowing, and extended his hand for a handshake. Thankfully, as Theo had assured, physical contact wasn't a problem. Uahaha, Sejun, it's good to see you. Puahaha, nice to meet you. As Sejun went around shaking hands with Kellyan and the other leaders. Brother-in-law. Son-in-law. Park son-in-law. Ace appeared alongside Anton and Elizabeth, all of them having polymorphed. Thud thud. Although Ace couldn't polymorph and remained in his true form. Brother-in-law. He affectionately lowered his massive head towards Sejun, seeking attention. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, it's nice to meet you. Puahiti. While Sejun patted Ace's head and greeted Anton and Elizabeth. Step aside, little brother. A chilling voice rang inside Ace's head. It was his older sister. Hiyek. Ace immediately shrank back and hid behind Elizabeth. Of course, given his enormous size, there was no way to truly hide, but he tried nonetheless. And then, Sejun. Aileen. Sejun and Aileen finally stood face to face. Sejun, I missed you so much. Overwhelmed with joy, Aileen threw herself into Sejun's arms. Poof! Sejun opened his arms and caught the slender Aileen. The scent of her soft hair, her fragrance, and the gentle sensation of her touch. Sejun closed his eyes and focused entirely on Aileen's presence. It's so warm. Despite the bitterly cold snow falling heavily from the sky, Sejun felt warmer than ever. Thank you, Santa Sejun. While thanking his clone for the blessing. Pew Hut, it's so warm, meow. Theo hugged both Sejun's and Aileen's knees, grinning widely. Seed Shop headquarters. Ho ho ho, since they've prayed for the main body, everyone here deserves gifts, time acceleration. Santa Sejun, who appeared at the Seed Shop headquarters, assessed the delivery locations and began using his power. Though the night was short for delivering presents everywhere, Santa Sejun's 100 hours under power, time acceleration, equated to just 1 second for everyone else. This was more than enough time for Santa Sejun to deliver all the gifts. Of course, the 4 high-ranking executives of the Seed Shop headquarters, who were also transcendent-grade beings, were unaffected by Santa Sejun's power, time acceleration. However, with powers like power, silent visit power, chimney travel, and power, silencing dogs, all specialized for sneaking in and leaving gifts unnoticed, it was nearly impossible for the executives to sense Santa Sejun's presence. In a fleeting moment, Santa Sejun completed his deliveries at the Seed Shop headquarters. This place has been very generous to Theo. He stopped by Hell's Pawnshop to leave good gifts. Not many gods on this side deserve gifts. He visited the Combat Shop headquarters and delivered gifts to only a few, such as Bev, Thunder, Battler, and Hunt. Afterward, Santa Sejun traveled across all realms, leaving gifts by the bedsides of all the good beings in the world. Ho ho ho, see you all next year. With those words, he clocked out and disappeared. As the night passed, Christmas morning arrived. And they're here. We're saved. Thankfully, there was a gift by the bedside of each earth dragon from Earthworm. Chapter 596. No, please try harder. Forest of Creation. Then I will begin the third trial to become the tree of creation. Raise one-dimensional tree. Hey, yes, please seal my power quickly. During the third trial, your power will be sealed. Understood. Flamey had her power sealed for the third trial. But, why did you stop sealing halfway? She soon realized that her power had only been reduced by half. Candidate for the Tree of Creation, your power has grown too strong. This is the best seal possible. Due to the rewards from passing the Tree of Creation candidate trials and the enhancing elixir, Flamey had grown too powerful. No, please try harder. If this continues, I won't be able to visit Sejun. Flamey pleaded with the trial statue, but it was no use. At that moment, Sejun. Ho ho ho, no, I am Park Sejun's clone, Santa Sejun, the god of Christmas. Flamey, don't worry and head to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. It'll be fine just for today. Now I must go, I'm busy, ho ho ho. Santa Sejun appeared before Flamey, delivering good news, and then vanished. The blessing of Christmas included Flamey's share of gifts. Sejun, I'm coming. Thanks to this, Flamey joyfully went to the 99th floor of the tower to find Sejun. But what if Pottery suddenly becomes a dimensional tree? Flamey was worried that she might have fed Pottery too many nutrients. Christmas morning. 99th floor of the Black Tower, Sejun's bedroom. My Sejun looks so cool even when he's sleeping. Lying beside Sejun, Aileen gazed at his face, filled with love, while he snored and slept deeply. And then, stroking. So soft. As she stroked Sejun's face. Gorarong. Kurarong. Kirarong. Pahyu pahyu. The sound of snoring reached Aileen's ears. As usual, Theo was sleeping on Sejun's lap, while Yona had wrapped herself around Theo's tail and fallen asleep. The Blackie family was also sprawled out on Sejun's chest as usual, each of them holding a piece of roasted and dried sweet potato in their mouths. They must have woken up early, checked their gifts from Sejun, and eaten happily before falling back asleep. The unusual thing was that Ace was lying on the opposite side of Aileen, resting his head against Sejun's left side. In order to accommodate Ace's massive body, nearly one wall of the bedroom had collapsed, but Ace's body perfectly blocked the wall, preventing any cold wind from entering. Small Kapar, letter 1F01, letter 1033D, letter 231, a circumflex letter winda fawinta. Thus, nothing happened between Sejun and Aileen during the night. Last night. A kiss with Aileen. As Sejun thought about hugging and kissing Aileen. Kuhaha, Sejun, first have a drink. Yeah, Sejun, take my glass too. You'd make me sad if you didn't accept mine. The 9 dragon leaders called out to Sejun. Spending time with Aileen was important, but he couldn't ignore the summons of the elders. No, he needed to go, even more so for Aileen. He wanted to gain recognition from the great dragons and become a worthy boyfriend. I'll just drink 9 cups and escape. Sejun planned to drink quickly and return to Aileen, but... So you're Sejun, nice to meet you. Yeah, I've been enjoying the drinks and food you've made. Sejun, take our glasses too. Yes. As other black dragons joined the leaders one by one, the situation escalated. Aileen, who had rushed down to the 99th floor, had left the passage open in her hurry. Realizing her mistake belatedly, Aileen went to close the passage, but by then, thousands of black dragons had already entered the 99th floor of the tower. Thanks to this, Sejun, who had planned to accept drinks from the leaders and escape, ended up being called by other black dragons. After greeting them and accepting one drink after another, He had already consumed over 100 bottles. Munch, munch. Fortunately, thanks to the detoxifying green onion, he didn't get drunk. But I'm full. At some point, he became full, eating only green onions without drinking. I'm not getting drunk. Sejun realized, thanks to his increased stats, that he didn't get drunk easily anymore. And then, Sejun, nice to meet you. I'm the great black dragon Rudian Pratani. Your drinks and food are truly the best. Here, have a drink. Yes, Rudian Nim, thank you. What's with the Nim? We're about the same age, so just talk casually. Really, is that okay? Of course. Sejun even made a few black dragon friends. Hehe, give me another drink. Oh, Park Sejun, this guy is really bold, I like him. Pew Hugh Hut, that's right, meow. The great hybrid chairman Park is very bold, meow. Hugh Hugh Hut, well, boldness is one of my specialties. Sejun, puffing his chest with pride, wiped his nose at the black dragons and Theo's compliments. A toast to the bold man, Park Sejun. To Sejun. Feeling good, Sejun enthusiastically accepted the drinks his black dragon friends poured for him. Kurr. Eventually, he passed out on the ground while returning from the bathroom. Meow, Chairman Park, you can't sleep here, meow. Theo carried Sejun on his back and laid him on the bed. Pew Hugh Hut, sleep setup complete, meow. Gorarung. Theo climbed onto Sejun's lap and fell asleep. Once Sejun and Theo were sound asleep. I want to sleep next to my brother-in-law too. Boom. Ace broke through the wall, stuck his head in and fell asleep. Sejun, are you sleeping? Kehe, are you? Aileen, who came looking for Sejun, also lay down beside him and watched over him all night. At that moment, all right, I can't miss such a good opportunity. Aileen clenched her fists and left the bedroom, heading to the kitchen. Today was the day she would showcase her honed cooking skills to Sejun. A little later, Sejun, wake up and eat breakfast. Aileen called out loudly to wake Sejun. What? Aileen made breakfast. At Aileen's words, an alarm of impending doom went off in Sejun's head, and his eyes snapped open. And then, stop right there. He stopped the group that was trying to sneak away. You guys, if we live together. If we die together. Especially you, Vice Chairman Theo. Is this how you repay me, is it? Sejun pulled at Theo's cheeks, questioning his betrayal. Chairman Park, it hurts, meow. I was only trying to help Yona escape, meow. Theo claimed his innocence. Right, Vice Chairman Theo only eats grilled fish anyway, so he wouldn't run away. Fine, I acknowledge your innocence, Vice Chairman Theo. Pew Hugh Hut, I've been recognized by Chairman Park, meow. When Sejun acknowledged his innocence, Theo rubbed his face against Sejun's knee in delight. Theo was especially weak when it came to Sejun. Then what about you, baby brother-in-law? This time, Sejun turned his sharp gaze to Ace. Pi Fieng, brother-in-law, I'm sorry. Sister's cooking is just too scary. Ace immediately admitted his fault. Baby brother-in-law, even so, you shouldn't have done that. Don't do it again next time, okay? Yes, I won't do it again. All right, now let's promise. Sejun forgave Ace, hooking his pinky finger, thicker than Sejun's forearm, with his own for a promise. And then, Blackie, do you know what you've done wrong? Kaying. No, I'm not eating Aileen Nuna's cooking. Sejun caught the Blackie family, who were trying to escape until the end, and headed to the kitchen. I'm dying. As he moved, his stomach churned, and he felt like throwing up any second. But everyone's gone already. Around the farm, not a single dragon could be seen. They must have all fled the moment Aileen entered the kitchen. Sejun arrived in front of the kitchen. Who? I can do this. After taking a deep breath, he opened the kitchen door and greeted Aileen. Aileen, good morning. Morning, Sejun, are you hungry? Sit down quickly. Yeah. She's beautiful. Sejun sat at the table, grinning like an idiot, enchanted again by the beautiful Aileen wearing an apron. Thanks to that, all fear of the food disappeared. In the meantime, Aileen set the table with the dishes she had prepared. Sejun, eat up. Aileen sat across from Sejun, resting her chin in her hands, gazing at him with loving eyes. The menu consisted of Aileen's specialty, soft-boiled fried eggs, soybean sprout soup for hangover relief, and reheated rice from the previous day. I can handle this. Seeing these low-difficulty dishes, Sejun felt a glimmer of hope. All right, I'll eat well, he said nervously, scooping a spoonful of soybean sprout soup and putting it in his mouth. And then, what? He was utterly shocked. Why is the soybean sprout soup sweet? Sejun quickly scanned the counter with his eyes. She added sugar. The lid of the sugar container, sitting next to the salt container, was open. Since both were white, it seemed she had mistaken sugar for salt. In a way, it was fortunate. To achieve this level of sweetness, she must have added a significant amount of sugar. If it had been salt instead. Sejun shuddered at the thought of drinking soup that tasted like seawater. But surprisingly, it's good. On top of that, the sweetness of the soybean sprout soup helped settle his hangover-induced queasiness. Gulp, gulp. Feeling thirsty, Sejun picked up the bowl of soup and drank it straight. Sejun, do you want more? Yes. I knew you'd say that, so I made plenty. Excited, Aileen eagerly ladled more soup into Sejun's bowl. Baby brother-in-law Blackie, try this. It's really good. Yes, brother-in-law. Kaying. Don't lie, there's no way Aileen Nuna's cooking could taste good. Unlike Ace, Blackie didn't believe him, as he had been tricked by Sejun many times before. Kyung. Good morning, everyone. Kyungi woke up and found this honey jar. Kyungi entered the kitchen, proudly showing off his Christmas gift, and then, Kyung. It's delicious. Only after Kyungi praised Aileen's soybean sprout soup did Blackie believe it. Kaying. It's real. Cautiously, Blackie hesitantly licked the soup. And then, slurp. Kaying. Aileen Nuna, give me more. In no time, Blackie emptied a bowl of soup and started showing his belly, cutely asking for more. After their peaceful breakfast ended. All right, shall we enjoy Christmas to the fullest? Yes. Sejun stepped outside with Aileen for a date, but meow. Kyung. Kaying. With Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie tagging along, it was hard to create a romantic atmosphere. To make matters worse, thump. The massive Ace was trailing behind them. At this rate, Christmas would end without Sejun even holding Aileen's hand, let alone having a proper date. Feeling a sense of urgency, Sejun thought. All right, that'll do. He devised a plan to shake off the group. Guys, let's play hide-and-seek. Kehe, I'm great at hide-and-seek. Hut, sounds good, meow. Kyung. Kaying. Puahidi, this sounds fun. The group's eyes sparkled at Sejun's suggestion. If Theo or Kyungi becomes the seeker, they'll find me quickly, right? All right, I'll be it. So Sejun decided to be it himself. Once everyone was hiding, he planned to pretend not to find them and enjoy a date with Aileen. He even secretly signaled Aileen to stay nearby. However, 99-100, ready or not, here I come. There was one thing Sejun hadn't considered. Ace wasn't good at hide-and-seek. Well, it wasn't entirely Ace's fault. Given his massive size, there weren't many places for him to hide. The moment Sejun turned around, he made eye contact with Ace, who was peeking his head out from behind pottery. I didn't see Ace, I didn't see him. Sejun averted his gaze, pretending not to notice. Guess I got caught quickly. Scratching his head, Ace stepped out of hiding and confessed. Thanks to this, Sejun ended up holding hands with both Aileen and Ace as they searched for the others. Found you. Before long, they found the rest of the group. Theo was located using the Theo detector, while Kyungi and Blackie were lured out with honey and roasted and dried sweet potato. Well, this counts as a date too. Sejun decided to just have fun with everyone, and spent the entire morning playing hide-and-seek. Then, Sejun, I'll make lunch too. No, please let me make lunch. As Sejun desperately tried to stop Aileen from taking charge of lunch. Sejun Nim, I'm here. Flamey arrived, ready to enjoy her holiday with Sejun. Chapter 597, I am feeling it. Flamey, come here. Pushu hut, Flamey, hurry over, meow. Kuehe Kuang. Hehe, Flamey Nuna, nice to see you. Sejun and his companions greeted Flamey warmly. And then, Flamey, this is something Santa Claus said to give you because you've been good, right, Vice Chairman Theo? Sejun pulled out a gift he had prepared for Flamey and winked at Theo. It was a signal for him to back him up. However, meow. Theo stared intently at Sejun and then, wink. He gave Sejun a wink back. And then, Pushu hut, Chairman Park, how's that, meow? He looked at Sejun with a great sense of pride. No, not that, Plan F. Sejun subtly shook his head to avoid drawing attention and mouthed the words. For reference, F stood for fire, referring to Flamey. Plan F, meow, got it, meow. Meow, that's right, meow. I saw Santa telling the great hybrid Chairman Park to give it to Flamey, meow. Finally understanding Sejun's signal, Theo enthusiastically supported him. However, what, Theo Hyung, did you see Santa Claus? But brother-in-law said Santa comes secretly. Meow, great hybrid Chairman Park will explain that, meow. Plan F was extremely flimsy. Oh well, that's because. Just as Sejun was flustered. Kuang. Uncle Ace, that's because Dad is friends with Santa Claus. That's right, Sejun is friends with Santa Claus. Isn't that right, Sejun? Kyungi and Aileen came to Sejun's rescue. Yeah, I'm kind of friends with Santa. Since his clone acted as Santa, it wasn't exactly a lie. However, Uncle Ace, I'm sorry for lying. Actually, there is no Santa. Kyungi believed Santa didn't actually exist. This was because when Santa Sejun had appeared, Kyungi had been asleep, and he had seen Sejun preparing Christmas presents. Still, Kyungi pretended to believe in Santa to protect Sejun's heartfelt intentions of preserving his childhood innocence. Thanks to Kyungi and Aileen's help, Sejun managed to avoid the crisis. Here, Flamey, let me put this on you. Sejun placed a necklace with a glowing orb around Flamey's neck, sunstone necklace. It was a necklace made by carving a hole into a pea-sized sunstone, emitting a faint sunlight, and weaving it with Jigomi's spider thread. Sejun had prepared this gift for Flamey, who was frail because she couldn't get sunlight underground. Thank you, Sejun Nim. Flamey expressed her joy and gratitude to Sejun. No, it's not from me, it's from Santa Claus. Sejun remained a professional until the end, sticking to the concept. Okay, thank you to Santa too. Flamey tactfully played along with Sejun and it's a gift. She quickly examined the necklace hanging around her neck. On the front of the sunstone was an engraving of Flamey's disguised form, and on the back was inscribed Park Flamey. Happily, Flamey stroked the necklace with her leaves. But then, crack! I know. Perhaps too excited, Flamey accidentally scratched the sunstone with her leaf, damaging it slightly, which saddened her. After Flamey's gift presentation concluded. Oh right, Santa left Aileen's gift with me too. Sejun handed over a gift to Aileen. Having successfully lied once, he was now quite bold about it. Oh, what is it? Aileen looked at him with high expectations. This seed of darkness. Sejun handed Aileen a black seed. It was a transcendent grade seed created with great effort by Dark, the god of darkness, which Sejun had purchased from the seed shop. When Sejun had first obtained the seed of darkness, he had pondered how to plant it. Suddenly, a message appeared before him, providing additional information about the seed. Title: One who glimpsed long into the beginning slightly understands the essence of the seed of darkness. Seed of darkness. Options can only be checked after harvesting. It contains immense power of darkness, and when consumed by a great black dragon, it grants one dark attribute power. Oh, this would make a perfect gift for Aileen. Thus, Sejun decided to give the Seed of Darkness as Aileen's Christmas present. This was unfortunate news for Dark, the god of darkness, who had been eagerly waiting for his seed to hatch. Sejun, thank you. Gulp. Aileen immediately swallowed the heartfelt gift from Sejun. Huh. Sejun was startled by the sudden change in Aileen's aura. Aileen had obtained the power, radiant even in darkness, exuding an even more captivating charm. Wow! Thanks to this, Sejun was once again captivated by Aileen's charm and meow. Now Chairman Park can't catch up no matter how hard he tries. Chairman Park is finished, meow. Watching Aileen's radiant charm, which Sejun could never match, Theo fell into despair. At that moment, Killer hit Kang. Hee butler, but didn't Santa give a gift to the great Blackie? Blackie, already having received roasted and dried sweet potatoes as a gift, shamelessly demanded more. There's no more gift, but Santa left a message for you. Kang. What is it? What did Santa say? Believing firmly in Santa's existence, Blackie barked excitedly. Santa said that Blackie received too many gifts this time and will come back later to take some back. Kang. Dedada. Hearing Sejun's words, Blackie hurried to his secret stash. He quickly devoured the remaining roasted and dried sweet potatoes to ensure Santa wouldn't take them away. After the gift-giving ceremony concluded, Sejun entered the kitchen to cook. Ahem, son, I smell something delicious. Indeed, it seems to be coming from over there. Seeing Aileen enter the kitchen alone, the great dragons, who had fled earlier, began gathering around the kitchen one by one. Seed Shop Headquarters. Oh look, I got a 1-star divine relic from Santa Trustin Park as my Christmas gift. Dwell, the god of wells, emerged from his home holding a small water goblet and shouted excitedly. Pew Hut, just 1 star. Dwell, you must not have done enough good deeds. I received a 1.5-star divine relic from Santa Trustin Park. Har, the god of basalt, who was already outside, proudly displayed a basalt statue in the shape of a human figure. At that moment, oh, how unfortunate! Since when did us non-combat gods do so few good deeds? Everyone, try harder. I received a 2-star divine relic from Santa Trustin Park. Our Hatchek A-ring letter winduf of Tusa, letter winduf of it 7 up in a letter 1 nin. Pearl, the god of pearls, appeared, riding on a giant pearl oyster. It even allowed him to sleep while traveling. The square in front of the Seed Shop headquarters was bustling with a gift battle among the non-combat gods, who had brought out the presents left at their bedsides that morning. The gift battle continued all morning. Tada, I got a 3-star divine relic, Pew Hut. Santa Trustin Park must have recognized my hard work. The battle ended with Lee, who revealed her 3-star divine relic. However, ho, how ridiculous. Hell, the god of merchants, challenged Lee. HMPH. Hell, how many stars does your divine relic have for you to act so smug? A 3-star divine relic. What, same as me? Hell, you must have done many good. But I have 3 divine relics. What? Look. Hell displayed the gifts she had received from Santa Sejun. Impeachment veto right. She received 3 veto rights that could be used to reject Theo's impeachments. Considering how much Theo had taken from her, Hell had received rather generous gifts. Of course, even if she used the vetoes, Theo could simply initiate another impeachment vote, so they weren't particularly useful. I can now veto impeachment attempts. Still, it provided Hell with a sense of psychological stability. The reason why the gods who hadn't seen Santa Sejun were convinced he was the one who gave the gifts was by Santa Sejun. The name was clearly inscribed on the divine relics. Why is no one thanking me? Thus, no one acknowledged the efforts of the Creator God. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Kuahaha, I can't believe I'm eating a dish made by Sejun right away like this. You haha, exactly. This is why you have to come and eat in person instead of ordering delivery. Around the cooking area, the dragons of the Four Dragons Council and the great black dragons were enjoying their lunch. Meanwhile, the other residents of the tower were having their meals 5 kilometers away from Sejun's kitchen. Do you dare to eat in the same space as us? It was because of the great dragons. Originally, eating on the same floor as the dragons wasn't even allowed, but food doesn't taste good when it gets cold. Cue him, then we'll grant you the honor of eating 5 kilometers away from us. At Sejun's words, the dragons begrudgingly allowed others to eat within a 5-kilometer radius. They truly looked down on others. Though Sejun, showered with praise from the dragons, didn't realize it, the dragons, with their immense pride, also harbored strong contempt for lower beings. Thanks to this, Sejun came to understand just how valuable his title, Dragon Race's Helper, truly was, as it allowed him to escape their disdain. A short while later, after the meal was finished, Flamey, what should we do for fun? I'm happy as long as I'm with Sejun Nim. Haha, really? Then shall we go for a walk together? Aileen, would you like to join us? With Flamey perched on his shoulder, Sejun stood up and extended his hand to Aileen. Sure. Aileen grabbed Sejun's hand and stood up. And then, Pew Hu Hut, Chairman Park take me, Vice Chairman Theo with you, meow. Kyung. Kaying. Brother-in-law, take me with you too. The group began to follow Sejun. Sejun walked around with Theo, Kyungi, and the Blackie family clinging to him, holding Aileen's hand in one hand and Ace's hand in the other. Ah, this is nice. Even though they were simply walking, Sejun felt immensely happy. Of course, the others felt the same way. No one thought it was boring. Just being together with everyone made this moment wonderful. As evening approached, Sejun began to cook. Pip, hello everyone. Peacebees woke up earlier than usual and greeted them. Pip, Aileen Nim, play with me too. Peacebees wanted to play with Aileen. Shall we? Then how about we sing together? Pip, yes, I'd love that. Hearing Aileen's suggestion, Peacebees grabbed the magic microphone necklace he had received as a gift with his wings. 1, 2, 3. The two began to sing. What? Sejun was astonished by Aileen's singing voice. Her regular voice was already beautiful, but her singing voice possessed a completely different charm. Moreover, her singing skills were impressive, rivaling even those of Peacebees, the king of singers. Meow meow. Kyung. Kaying. Thanks to their duet, Sejun, who was cooking, and Theo, Kyungi, and the Blackie family, who were watching, all began to hum along joyfully. After cooking happily like that, Sejun, dinner is ready, called the great dragons who had settled around the kitchen to eat together. At that moment, Flamey Nim, I am feeling it. Pottery's roots subtly crept toward Flamey and whispered to her. What are you feeling? It couldn't be right. Feeling a sense of foreboding, Flamey asked Pottery. However, why are bad premonitions always right? Flamey Nim, I think I'll be able to evolve into a dimensional tree soon. Completely oblivious to Flamey's concern, Pottery laughed cheerfully. Why didn't you evolve when I told you to before? No, you must hold it in. How can I hold it back? No, I said no, you must hold it in. Understood, I'll try my best. As Flamey erupted in anger, Pottery felt his life was in danger and began to suppress his evolution into a dimensional tree. Chapter 598. Oh, what is this? Black Tower, 99th floor. As dinner was nearing its end. Let's make a toast for Sejun, who worked hard. When Kaiser raised his glass and shouted, Sejun, good work. Good work. Thank you for making such a joyful time for us. The other leaders and the great black dragons raised their glasses and expressed their gratitude to Sejun, who had worked hard to prepare for Christmas. And then, You have received great recognition from the leaders of the 9 great dragon clans and the great black dragons. Title Dragon Race's Helper has been upgraded to title Dragon Race's Useful Helper. No matter how great the gap in status, the great dragons will not only refrain from looking down on you, but will also hold a favorable opinion of you. A message appeared in front of Sejun. Dragon Race's Useful Helper. What nonsense is this? So are you saying I wasn't useful until now? The dragons love my cooking so much. I even have dragon friends already. How slow is this system? Frustrated by the system's anachronistic message, Sejun quickly dismissed it and raised his glass high with the other great dragons. And then, to our Sejun, to Sejun, clink. They all clinked their glasses together, downed their drinks in one go, and spent the remaining time either partying or saying goodbye to Sejun before leaving the Black Tower. A little while later, Sejun, I'll be leaving now. The great black dragon, Rudian Pratani, also bid farewell to Sejun. All right, Rudian, take care. Sejun, let's meet again soon. Of course, Rudian, take this. Sejun, this is. Haha, what are friends for? Just take it. Sejun secretly handed over 10 bottles of cherry wine to Rudian, his dragon friend who had been the first to ask to be friends. After saying goodbye to Rudian and returning to his seat, Ho ho ho, Sejun, come here quickly. Where did you go? Except for the 4 Dragons Council, Brachio and the other leaders were waiting for Sejun. I just went to say goodbye to Rudian, but is there something going on? Sejun cautiously asked, noticing the 5 leaders surrounding him. Muhahaha, Sejun, don't be scared. We're just here to make an important announcement to you. Qin answered. An important announcement. I'm already scared, though. Sejun, nervous at the mention of an important announcement, braced himself. Yes, unlike those sneaky 4 Dragons Council guys, we've decided to form the 5 Dragons Council. Artemis spoke to Sejun. The 5 leaders had decided to leave their dragon statues here and proposed merging with the 4 Dragons Council to form the 9 Dragons Council, but were rejected. So, the 5 of them formed their own 5 Dragons Council. Letter 1 D42B, letter 1 F00, no beta E umlaut, letter 1 E65. A 5 Dragons Council. That's what you're calling an important announcement. Relieved that it wasn't a big deal, Sejun let out a breath. But why are they telling me about this? He didn't realize that he was recognized as the master of the Black Tower's 99th floor by the great dragons. When the 5 Dragons Council finished speaking and returned to their seats. Sejun, you know we came here first, right? That's right, and don't forget how much we've helped you. This time, the dragons of the 4 Dragons Council approached Sejun, reminding him of their shared history before finally returning to their own seats. As time passed and midnight approached, the great dragons began to leave the 99th floor of the tower one by one. Sejun walked alongside Aileen, chatting as they strolled together. Theo, Kyungi, and the Blackie family tried to follow them thoughtlessly, but Kaiwat, don't disturb the 2 of them, stay here and behave. Yona actively intervened, creating some alone time for Sejun and Aileen. Yona, thank you. I'll set up a date for you and Theo later. Sejun silently made a deal with Yona. And so, Sejun enjoyed a delightful date alone with Aileen. For an hour, they talked without pause, but Sejun couldn't quite remember the specifics of their conversation. However, Aileen, wait for me. I'll definitely become stronger. Yes, I'll wait. Sejun asked her to wait, and Aileen promised she would. Beneath the cold moonlight, they shared a kiss. And then, Sejun, I'm going now. Okay, blessing of Christmas has ended. Just before midnight, when the blessing of Christmas ended, Aileen returned to the administrator's area. However, Flamey was still there. Even though 50% of Flamey's power was sealed, it was still far beyond what Sejun could handle. No, not just Sejun, except for Kyungi, the beast of apocalypse, no one could withstand such power. Yet for some reason, Despite Flamey's presence, nothing unusual happened on the 99th floor of the tower. The reason was, sweetie, thank you. Sweetie had helped Flamey. This solution was discovered not long after Flamey had arrived at the Black Tower. Wying. Flamey Nim, could you share some of your power with me? I need it to evolve. Sweetie, the poisonous queen bee, had approached Flamey with a request. Santa Sejun had given Sweetie a royal jelly as a Christmas gift, granting her the qualification to rise in rank and become a demigod like Torion. For reference, as a bee, Sweetie had a racial trait that allowed her to absorb the energy of trees. Sweetie initially proposed the idea to Pottery, but, no way, I'm so close to becoming a dimensional tree. Pottery had flatly rejected her. I'd be happy to. Thanks to this, Flamey began sharing her power through her roots, helping Sweetie as she spun a cocoon to evolve. And then, guys, you can have some too. Wying. She also offered her power to the other poisonous bees. Hundreds of thousands of poisonous bees each absorbed a tiny portion of Flamey's power, gradually weakening her overwhelming strength. Sejun seemed destined to grow weaker than the poisonous bees in the future at this rate. The next morning, Sejun, who had gone to bed early the previous night, woke up earlier than usual. What is this? Why does my body feel so light? Sejun noticed that his physical condition had changed and quickly checked the messages that had appeared while he was asleep. And then, due to your job trait, you are borrowing 1% of the stats of Hamer, the god of farming and 10th Tower's tower farmer. What? The reason soon became clear. As Hamer's body had been completed, Sejun was able to borrow 1% of Hamer's stats. Sejun checked his stats. Strength 38,710 / 54,778. Stamina 36,874 / 47,679. Agility 35,509 / 46,310. Magic power 37,024 / 48,082. Mental strength 10,000 / 10,000. Divinity 66.6111 / 100. All my stats went up by about 5,000. Then Hamer's total stats are 2 million. Well, as expected of a god, they were incredible. Just like that, Sejun's total stats increased by 20,000 overnight. Hut, I've grown stronger again, he said, feeling quite proud. Meow. Kaying. He gathered up Theo and the Blackie family and stepped outside. At that moment, good morning, Sejun Nim. Flamey, basking in the morning sun, greeted Sejun. Yeah, good morning. Sejun greeted Flamey back and then, plop. He placed Flamey on his shoulder. And then, step. He walked around the farm, letting the sound of his footsteps reach the crops as he harvested things to eat for breakfast. A short while later, Kyung. Dad, did you sleep well? Kyungi woke up and came looking for Sejun. Yes, Kyungi, you're hungry, aren't you? Let's get breakfast ready. Sejun took Kyungi and went to the kitchen to start cooking. Today's menu was salad, soup, and the leftover bread from yesterday. Since both lunch and dinner yesterday had been excessive, breakfast today was kept simple. When breakfast ended, Hut, Chairman Park, I'll be off now, meow. Kyungi will go gather good herbs, Dad. Theo and Kyungi headed off to work. Theo didn't plan to visit another tower today, but instead decided to check on how the employees were doing and went down the tower. I should get to work too. Sejun, who watched until Theo and Kyungi were out of sight, also began to move to start his day. Click. Recently, Sejun had been busy preparing for Christmas, leaving the 10th tower and earthworm neglected, so there was much to do. Black Tower, 75th floor. All right, Gorina, congratulations on becoming a manager. Manager Gorina, congratulations on your promotion. You're amazing. Gorina, who had risen from an entry-level intern to a manager in Sejun Company within 300 days, was receiving everyone's congratulations. Thank you, everyone. Thud thump, thud thump. Gorina responded by pounding her chest hard in appreciation of the other employees' congratulations. However, not enough. I need even bigger achievements to become the vice chairman of Sejun Company. The manager position wasn't enough to satisfy Gorina's ambition. She had her eyes set on Theo's position as vice chairman of Sejun Company. My love, just wait a little longer. One of the three beauties of the Black Tower, will win you over. Gorina, the daughter of the gorilla tribe's chief, had fallen in love with Sejun at first sight when she saw him on the 77th floor of the tower. TL. In CH 128. Even after being punched by Kyungi, she didn't give up. She left her homeland to join Sejun Company, working diligently as she eagerly awaited the day she could be by Sejun's side. Then one day, full-time employee communication network. Gorina caught wind of new information. Yes, only full-time employees can use it, and it seems there's all kinds of information about Chairman Park being shared there. Information about Sejun. I want to use the official employee network too. I want to know what time Sejun wakes up, what time he goes to bed, and what he eats. Gorina longed to gain access to the official employee network. But becoming a full-time employee wasn't easy. You had to either target Sejun's life or make Theo extremely angry. Unlike normal standards, Sejun Company's requirements for becoming a full-time employee were bizarrely difficult and required considerable bad luck. How can I make Vice Chairman Theo angry? Gorina spent the entire day working hard while brainstorming ways to enrage Theo. However, Manager Gorina's work attitude, excellent. She had no idea that her actions were actually pleasing the very person she needed to anger. Hut, excellent work, meow. Theo, secretly observing Gorina as she worked hard while scheming to upset him, found the irony amusing. There was no greater irony than this. If Theo had known she was targeting his position, he would have immediately promoted her to permanent full-time employee. But alas, Theo lacked the ability to read Gorina's mind. Hut. Gorina, since you're working so well, there's no need for you to work long hours, meow. I'll suggest reducing your schedule to 4 days a week, meow. As a result, Gorina found herself drifting further and further from the full-time position she desired, and from Sejun as well. Earthworm. Hey everyone, hello. As Sejun stepped through the dimensional gate. Kiki. Kiki. The destruction devourers greeted him warmly. And then, Kilahit Kaying. Guys, great leader Blackie is here. Blackie began playing with his subordinates and the destruction devourers, while Blackie and her family were busy having fun. Plop plop. Sejun planted seeds of the destruction devourers he had brought from the 10th tower. At that moment, plop, a thick, red, sticky liquid blob fell from the sky. It was a tear of destruction that had accidentally entered Jormungandr's body and leaked out through a gap devoid of energy of creation. Slosh slosh. The tear of destruction, following its instincts, began to transform into the appearance of the closest being, Sejun. Plop plop. It started digging into the ground to create spots for planting seeds, mimicking Sejun's original habits. The tear of destruction was replicating the behavior of its main body perfectly. Oh, what's this? Sejun's eyes sparkled as he realized he had gained a new worker. Chapter 599, Hut. As expected, Uncle Theo's popularity hasn't faded, meow. Hello. As Park Sejun approached the tear of destruction that had taken on his form, Sejun swung a fist at him without saying a word. However, Hut too slow. To Sejun, Sejun's punch appeared endlessly slow. Swish. Sejun dodged the punch lightly, mocking Sejun. Then stagger. After missing his punch, Sejun fell on his own and, perhaps to hide his embarrassment, He pretended to dig the ground. Hey, don't act so pathetic while looking like me. Sejun found himself unintentionally experiencing some mirror therapy. There was a reason the tears of destruction, which could replicate even the powers of the great dragon, appeared this week. The tears of destruction replicate not only the appearance of their target, but also their disposition, stats, and skills. The problem lay in the fact that Sejun's main skills were farming skills. Farming skills were the polar opposite of destruction's power. The tears of destruction had exhausted almost all of its abilities, trying to replicate Sejun's farming skills. At that moment, thunk thunk. Destruction, Sejun seemed to forget about his fight with Sejun entirely and began digging the ground again, preparing a place to plant seeds. What's with this simple-minded fellow? Sejun, unaware that this behavior was identical to his own, watched Destruction Sejun with curiosity. Should I give him some seeds? Sejun number 2, would you plant these for me? He handed Destruction Sejun some Destruction Devourer seeds. Destruction Sejun accepted the seeds as if it were only natural, grinning widely as he eagerly planted them. And so, Destruction Sejun naturally became Sejun number 2. Fortunately, it seemed that Sejun's rebellious tendencies hadn't been properly transferred to him. When Sejun number 2 planted the Destruction Devourer seeds, Kiki, Kiki, the seeds sprouted, and the Destruction Devourers began to follow Sejun number 2 around. They were drawn to absorb the energy of destruction emanating from him. Nicely done. Sejun watched the scene with satisfaction and planted some seeds himself. A short while later, Seed Shop is now open. The seed shop opened and, oh, dragon fruit. Sejun purchased dragon fruit seeds along with pomegranate, lotus root, and chamomile seeds. Then, Sejun number 3 rise. He germinated the dragon fruit seeds. However, the skills copied by Sejun number 3 this time were magic swordsmanship and intermediate spear technique. The most useless things in this place were combat skills. What am I supposed to do with this guy? Sejun, staring at the blank-faced Sejun number 3, pondered for a moment. Just do whatever you want. After giving Sejun number 3 some free time, Sejun resumed planting seeds. Meanwhile, Sejun number 3 began practicing sword swings using magic swordsmanship. As the 3 Sejuns diligently carried out their respective tasks, ping! A transparent droplet popped out of Sejun number 2's body and, bang! Exploded midair, creating a dense cloud of steam. And then, clang! 100 million tower coins and one piece of world's energy fell. It was the purified part falling off and disappearing after being cleansed by the Destruction Devourers. What is this guy really? He works, feeds the Devourers, and even produces money. A perfect worker who gives endlessly, Sejun number 2. Hehe, I heard there are many like this outside. Sejun looked up at the sky with a twisted smile. Although only a blue sky could be seen, Sejun's gaze pierced through it, targeting the crimson darkness beyond. Hey, Sejun Nim, I found what you wanted. Flamey too. At that moment, Dedada. Kilahit Kaying. Hee butler, look what I found. One good deed completed. Blackie returned, carrying the money and fragment of the world's energy that Sejun number 2 had dropped. And, hey, just by following butler number 2, I'll finish 3 good deeds in no time. Together with the Destruction Devourers, the Blackie family also began following Sejun number 2, eagerly waiting for him to spit out more money. 85th floor of the Black Tower. As expected of a gift from Sejun Nim, the effect is undeniable. Elka looked at his side and displayed a satisfied expression. On Elka's side, there was a bald patch the size of a fist, but now silver hair had begun to grow in that spot. Recently, due to the stress of parenting, Elka had developed hair loss on his side. If it had been his head, it could have been resolved with Sejun's stamina corn, but for his side, there was no solution. As the leader of the Silver Wolves, a healthy coat of fur was a symbol of strength and authority. If the other Silver Wolves found out about his bald spot, it would severely undermine his dignity as the chief. I absolutely cannot let them find out about my hair loss. To keep it hidden, he had been painstakingly covering the bald spot with surrounding fur, but the patch had grown larger and larger, leaving him increasingly worried. Arhachek letter 1d622, letter FF4e, audible acute letter FF42, iomlaut. Then, as this year's Christmas gift, Santa Sejun had given him some hair growth cream. Naturally, the hair growth cream gifted by the god Santa Sejun had remarkable effects, and within just a few hours of application, new hair had already begun to sprout. In a few days, no one will even notice. As Elka admired the effect of the hair growth cream with satisfaction. Daddy. Found you, Daddy. Now you're at Daddy. 5 baby silver wolves, who had been hiding in the bushes, found Elka, wagging their tails wildly as they jumped on him and barked enthusiastically. Plop plop. At the same time, Elka felt immense stress, and half of the newly grown silver fur fell out. No. Elka looked at the hairs falling again and felt utter despair. At that moment, Pewhut, Elka, don't worry, meow. Vice Chairman Theo will take care of everything, meow. Theo, who had been secretly observing Elka, appeared. For reference, Elka's work performance was evaluated as elite. This was because he had praised Sejun. Theonym. Is he going to give me a massage? Elka thought Theo was going to treat his hair loss with needing therapy, but instead of treating Elka, kids, follow Uncle Theo, meow. Theo began playing with the baby silver wolves. Uncle Theo, give me a piggyback ride. Pewhut, climb on, meow. Uncle Theo, I need to pee. Pewhut, let's go to the bathroom together, meow. Uncle Theo, what game are we playing next? Pewhut, this time it's the card game Go Stop, taught to me by the great hybrid Chairman Park, meow. Having seen and learned so much while being around Sejun, who was max level at parenting, Theo played well with the baby silver wolves and... This is Uncle Theo. If you play with Uncle Theo, it's super fun. Uncle Theo said he'll play with us. Soon, all the baby pups in the area flocked to him. Pewhut, as expected, Uncle Theo's popularity hasn't faded, meow. Surrounded by the excitedly tail-wagging baby silver wolves, Theo smiled contentedly. After playing with the baby puppies, Pewhut, Uncle Theo is clocking out now, meow. Leaving a farewell, Theo disappeared in an instant. Wah, Uncle Theo is gone. Uncle, come back. The 85th floor of the tower became a sea of tears. Kids, let's play with Daddy now. Having taken a brief rest, Elka resumed playing with the baby silver wolves, but Uncle Theo carried all of us back and forth 100 times. Uncle Theo gave us tasty and energizing jerky. Daddy, you're disappointing. After playing with Theo, their expectations had risen too high, and it was extremely difficult to satisfy the pups. A little while later, Deputy Manager Black Tower 85F Boss Silver Wolf Tribe Chief Elka, never leave your kids with Vice Chairman Theo. If the kids who haven't played with Theo are just like normal sunfish, the ones who have played with him turn into ultra-super sunfish. After barely managing to get the pups to sleep, Elka left a message filled with resentment on the employee communication network. Deputy Manager Black Tower 98F Boss Black Eagle Redin, Elka, stay strong. Black Tower 59F Green Goblin Paku, Ultra Super Sunfish. That sounds terrifying, shivering. Black Tower 65F Long-Tailed Green Monkey Tribe Chief Nakmong. Enjoy this time while it lasts. Soon, they'll start playing amongst themselves and won't even let their dad join in. He was comforted by his colleagues' responses. 99th floor of the Black Tower. I'm off work. Sejun stepped into the tower acting like he had worked extremely hard despite just crossing one-dimensional door. And then, humming happily, he began preparing dinner. Pewhiti, brother-in-law, hello. Approaching Sejun was a dragon statue in the form of Ace. It was a Christmas gift he received from Kaiser. Oh, baby brother-in-law just waking up. Yes, Puahihi, brother-in-law, what's for dinner today? Tonight it's slime stir-fried pork rice bowl. It's almost ready, so just wait a bit. Yes, brother-in-law. As Ace sat at the dining table. Kyung. Dad, Kyungi is here. Kyungi entered the kitchen carrying herbs. And Kyung. Dad, these are herbs Kyungi dug up. He proudly handed the herbs he had gathered to Sejun. 1-month-old Doraji, root of strength. 1-month-old Shawu, root of potential. Both were newly harvested herbs, so their effects weren't very strong yet, but since they were similar to the kudzu root Kyungi had previously harvested, their potential for future use was promising. Kyungi, thank you. Sejun patted Kyungi's bottom and was about to put food on the table when, as Sejun's vision darkened, Vice Chairman Theo, you're here. Puhuhu, that's right, meow. Chug. Sejun peeled Theo off his face and continued. Great hybrid Chairman Parkai, Vice Chairman Theo did a lot of work today, meow. Listen, meow. While listening to Theo's stories, they enjoyed dinner together. After the peaceful dinner concluded, Hezeli. Puhuhud. He. Kuiha. Kivihid. Sejun and his companions spent a relaxing time stargazing under the night sky. Kyungi, time to go to bed now. Your mom will be worried. Kyung. Yes, Dad, good night. Sejun sent Kyungi off to Pinkfur and lay down in his bed to sleep. As the night grew deeper, swish. Sejun number 3 continued swinging his sword. Outskirts of destruction. Hey, this is what Sejun Nim wants. Creak. Flamey moved its roots, luring the tears of destruction into gaps devoid of energy of creation. What a shame. The gaps without energy of creation were too small, so only smaller tears of destruction could be drawn into the earthworm, while the larger ones remained untouched. Toriang, make sure no one comes this way. Yes, Flamey Nuna, leave it to me. Flamey instructed Toriang to ensure that no earth dragons came near the area where the tears of destruction were being drawn. If the tears of destruction were to replicate the forms of the earth dragons, Sejun's endlessly giving employees would vanish. Not only that, it would become extremely dangerous. The tears of destruction use the power left after replication to enhance themselves. Letting the tears of destruction replicate Sejun's appearance was, in many ways, the safest solution. As Flamey worked hard to lure the tears of destruction into the earthworm. Flamey Nim, I'm reaching my limit. Potery's desperate cry rang out. Potery, you can do it. Flamey quickly turned its gaze toward the black tower to cheer on Potery. However, I can't. Potery seemed to have truly reached his limit as his roots turned white and he was on the verge of losing consciousness. No. Stay strong. Whoosh. In desperation, Flamey created flames to support Potery's roots. It's hot. Potery screamed. I feel better now. At the same time, the force trying to cause Potery to evolve subsided. Potery, thank you for enduring. Thanks to this, Flamey was able to spend a little more time with Sejun. But, when this time is over, when will I ever see Sejun Nim again? Flamey instinctively felt the end of their time approaching. The next day, wriggle. Sejun arrived at the earthworm and discovered 10 tears of destruction transforming into his appearance. Welcome, Sejun number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 13. He attached name tags to each of the workers, warmly welcoming them. And then, meow. This is dizzying, meow. There are too many ugly Chairman Parks, meow. Theo was in shock. Chapter 600, Puhuhut. Hell tilde nim, if you act up again, it'll be a real impeachment next time, meow. Meow. The ugly Chairman Park is multiplying, meow. I need to come up with a countermeasure, meow. Theo was seriously contemplating how to handle the multiplying ugly Chairman Park, who were spreading like cockroaches. Of course, the answer was already decided. I need to fix Chairman Park's face, meow. Fixing the original would solve everything. The destruction Sejun's had all copied Sejun's face. Pay it. So Theo burned all of Sejun's assets, slam, slam, and stomped on Sejun's face with all his might. Vice Chairman Theo. Sejun's face crumpled under the weight. Thanks to that, the 100 trillion tower coins Theo had earned from completing the job quest burned brightly with a brilliant light. Moments later, "Hey, what are you doing using all that money on my face?" "Chairman Park, I spent all the money and fixed your face, meow, as there was no other way, meow." Theo got his chubby cheeks pinched like rice cakes by Sejun as punishment. But the effect of burning an immense amount of money was evident. Sejun's face became as clean as Santa Sejun's. And when the original Sejun's face changed, the copied Sejun's faces also transformed accordingly. Sadly, the effect only lasted 10 minutes before the faces started reverting again. Pew hut, at least Chairman Park's face is less ugly, meow. Considering the 100 trillion tower coins used, the results were minimal, but Theo seemed satisfied, clinging to Sejun's lap while humming. Meow meow meow. And even Kyungi, who was clinging to Sejun's side, joined in, humming along enthusiastically. At that moment, Kilahit Kaying. Hee Butler, Great Blackie has brought back some money. Blackie brought back money, dropped by the destruction Sejun's to Sejun. Kaying. Butler, Great Blackie did 5 good deeds today. That means I only need to do 1 good deed tomorrow, right? Blackie puffed up with pride and attempted to negotiate. However, no, Sejun firmly refused. And this doesn't seem like a good deed. Kaying. No, in fact, Sejun completely denied Blackie family's definition of good deeds. Originally, Sejun had assigned Blackie good deeds as a form of atonement, but now what Blackie was doing had drifted far from atonement. The essence had become distorted. I need to assign them tasks that actually help with atonement. That way, they could reduce their punishment later. What could there be? Butler, you're so mean. Sejun stroked Blackie's head as Blackie glared at him with dissatisfaction, contemplating deeply. Meanwhile, Kilahit. Blackie seemed to have calmed down, rolling over and offering his belly for pets, wagging his tail enthusiastically. So Sejun stroked Blackie's belly, while continuing to ponder what tasks would actually help Blackie family with atonement. Vice Chairman Theo, call Helnum for me. Hut got it, meow. Helnum, come here, meow. Through Theo, who could summon Hel, the god of merchants, at any time, Sejun decided to seek advice. However, Hel, the god of merchants, refuses to talk, claiming that she's not some idle god who can be summoned whenever. Relying on her impeachment veto rights, Hel, who had grown bold, refused Theo's call. Meow, then Helnum, it's impeachment time, meow. Theo immediately initiated an impeachment vote. Black Tower's lucky legendary merchant Park Theo attempts to impeach Hel, god of merchants. Black Tower's legendary merchant slaves Mimir, Urin, Jido, Ninir, Machin, and Majin automatically agree with Black Tower's legendary merchant Theo Park's opinion. Alpha letter 1033D letter 22B E circumflex. Green Tower's legendary merchant slaves Turbo, Shark. Golden Tower's legendary merchant slaves Yudo, Marin. A legendary merchant's vote counts as 2 votes. The number of legendary merchants that Theo had recruited for impeachment totaled 10. In cases like Jido and Yudo, though they hadn't done anything wrong, they willingly got stamped by Theo. Thus, before the impeachment vote even began, Theo secured 18 votes in favor, rolling dice to determine lucky legendary merchants' votes. The dice has numbers from 1 to 6. Lucky legendary merchant Theo's votes were determined by rolling dice. And then the dice rolled a 6. Lucky legendary merchant Park Theo's vote counts as 6 votes. As expected of a lucky legendary merchant, he got the highest number, 6. 24 votes in favor of impeaching Hell, the god of merchants, have been counted. Once the vote tally was completed, with more than 50% of the 36 total votes in favor, Hell, the god of merchants, has been impeached. Hell was impeached without even proceeding to an actual vote. Hell, the god of merchants, has exercised her impeachment veto right. Hell used her impeachment veto right to refuse the impeachment, and Hell, the god of merchants, declares in a confident voice, "You cat brat, I no longer tremble in fear because of impeachment." She spoke arrogantly toward Theo. At that, Theo responded, "Meow, then it's impeachment time again, meow." Theo immediately initiated another impeachment vote. Black Tower's lucky legendary merchant Park Theo attempts to impeach Hell, god of merchants. Hell, the god of merchants, has exercised her impeachment veto right. In a flash, Hell used up both of her impeachment veto rights. And then, impeachment again. When Theo tried to impeach again Hell, the god of merchants says she was wrong. Hell, the god of merchants, suggests resolving this through dialogue. Hell, who had run out of impeachment veto rights, hurriedly requested dialogue in. Pew Hugh Hut, Hellnum, if you act up again, it'll be a real impeachment next time, meow. Hell, the god of merchants, says she will absolutely never act up again. She completely prostrated himself before, veto right. It was, in truth, a gift from Hell, but at the same time it was also a trap. Santa Sejun was someone nurtured by Theo with his heart. Naturally, he would never betray Theo. With the hierarchy now sorted, Hellnum, what kind of task would be good for Blackie to do to atone? Through Theo, Sejun asked Hell for advice. Pew Hugh Hut, Chairman Park, Hellnum says that the fastest way for Blackie to atone would be to resolve the karma he has caused directly, meow. Theo relayed Hell's opinion. To resolve the karma he caused directly. That's right, meow. Hellnum says it would be best to go in person to seek forgiveness or resolve it, meow. Really? Then where should Blackie go to resolve this karma? When Sejun asked, Hellnum, where should he go, meow, meow, you said you don't know, meow. Hellnum, are you joking with me, meow? Do you want to get impeached, meow? Theo, asking Hell, suddenly began to get angry. After a moment, Hell, the god of merchants, says she has an idea. Pressed relentlessly by Theo, Hell desperately came up with a solution. So if Blackie carries the world's energy, that will help with atonement. Pew Hugh Hut, that's right, meow. Hellnum says apologizing to the souls contained in the world's energy will help with atonement, meow. According to Theo's explanation, the world's energy contained fragments of destroyed worlds and the souls of those who had perished in destruction. So if Blackie apologized to the souls within the world's energy, it would help with his atonement. All right. From now on, the world's energy would be entrusted to Blackie. Having discovered the method for Blackie's atonement, Sejun declared, Blackie, from now on, you'll apologize 100 times a day, got it? Kaying. Got it, Butler, I'll do my best. From now on, call me Blackie the Great Atoner. Blackie barked with a determined expression. And then, Kirorong. Iamrarong. Kurorong. The Blackie family, holding pieces of world's energy in their mouths, started earnestly apologizing to souls in their mental worlds. I hope they're not threatening the souls to forgive them, right? Sejun watched the unconscious Blackie family with concern. Thud, thud. Then, as he began planting destruction devourers again. Drop, drop. 2 drops of tears of destruction, lured by Flamey, fell from the sky. But, gulg, gulg. This time, instead of turning into Sejun, the destruction Theo transformed into Theo, who was clinging to Sejun's lap. This was because Theo was physically closer. The transformed destruction Theos then. Shak. Used light-speed meow step and charged towards Sejun. Meow, Chairman Park's lap is mine, meow. Theo, the lap guardian, also charged to punish the competitors. Bang, boom, boom, boom. Theo and the 2 destruction Theos collided, causing an enormous explosion. Kyung. Dad, Kyungi is coming to the back. Kyungi hastily gigantified and shielded Sejun and the Blackie family with his body. Moments later, Hut, I won meow. Chairman Park, I brought back some money meow. Theo, who subdued the two Destruction Theos, clung to Sejun's lap. The two Destruction Theos were no match for Theo, who had fully recharged with Sejun's lap energy. Although there was a brief commotion. Thud, thud. The Destruction Sejuns, undisturbed, continued planting Destruction Devourer seeds. Sejun left those Destruction Sejuns alone and said, "Let's go home." He returned to the Black Tower. When Sejun returned to the 99th floor of the Black Tower like that. Kayuk. Sejun Nim, no, you need to twist it a bit more and swing it. He saw Bachai teaching swordsmanship to Sejun number 3. Master Bo. When Sejun called Bachai, Kayuk, why are there two Sejun Nims? Bachai looked back and forth, confused between Sejun and Swish. Sejun number 3, who was still swinging his sword. At that moment, the sword that Sejun number 3 was swinging no longer made any sound, unlike before, even though he swung it with full force. And then, the dragon fruit with the ambiguous Dragon Park Sejun's energy has gained a great enlightenment while using beginner magic swordsmanship. The dragon fruit with the ambiguous Dragon Park Sejun's energy's enlightenment is transmitted to Black Tower's Tower Farmer Park Sejun. The level of the beginner magic swordsmanship skill has increased by 3. Beginner magic swordsmanship has reached LV 4. Messages appeared in front of Sejun. The skill level can increase like this. If Sejun number 3 raises his swordsmanship skill level during the remaining time, then I'll be able to learn the beginner aura swordsmanship that I couldn't learn from Master Bo last time. Sejun rejoiced at the thought. However, Kayuk. Not possible, I'm busy. Bachai flatly rejected Sejun's request. Why not, Master Bo, you're single. What could you possibly be busy with? That's right, meow. Why won't you help Great Hybrid Chairman Park when you're single, meow? Sejun, who had a lover, and Theo, who shamelessly followed suit, criticized Bachai, who had been single for 300 years. Stab. It felt like a dagger had pierced Bachai's heart. This cruel world, of course, those who have everything always do this. Kayuk. That's why I'm looking for a bride. I'm absolutely getting married within a year. Bachai shouted desperately at the two. He had entered the Black Tower to find a bride. Oh, Master Bo, I'm sorry. Sejun, realizing he might have gone too far, apologized. Master Bo, I'm sorry too, meow. Theo followed Sejun's lead and apologized as well. Master Bo, don't worry, I'll help you find a bride. Hey, believe it or not, I'm an influential figure in the Black Tower. Just tell me your ideal type. Sejun declared confidently, puffing himself up. Kayuk. Sejun Nim, then I'd like someone with lush fur, black fur specifically. At Sejun's words, Bachai immediately described his ideal type. He had bad memories associated with white fur, so he didn't want that. Lush black fur, huh? Hearing Bachai's ideal type, Sejun pondered for a moment. At that moment, Hut, Great Hybrid Chairman Parkai, Vice Chairman Theo, know of a bride candidate with lush black fur, meow. Theo exclaimed confidently. Oh, really? Vice Chairman Theo, then bring her here tomorrow. Hut understood, meow. Master Bo, while you wait, you'll teach me swordsmanship, right? Kayuk. Leave it to me. I'll have you master beginner magic swordsmanship by the end of the day. And so, Bachai decided to stay on the 99th floor of the Black Tower until he could meet his bride. Vice Chairman Theo, so who is it? Sejun quietly asked Theo about the bride he planned to introduce to Bachai. Hut, Chairman Park, it's someone you know, meow. Someone I know. That's right, meow, it's Gorina, meow. Theo answered boldly. What? You're going to introduce Gorina to Master Bo. Sure, Gorina had lush black fur, but... Meow, is there a problem, meow? Theo asked with an innocent expression. This guy is a devil to his very core. That's why he doesn't even realize what he's doing is bad. Vice Chairman Theo, take your time bringing her here. Pew Hut got it, meow. Of course, Sejun wasn't any less of a devil.